Welcome back to Mac Aldrich Field in Fall River, all set for this big Thanksgiving Classic between the New Bedford Whalers and the Durfee Hilltoppers. We talked about it in the Brockton game, size versus speed. Size won that time, but of course Durfee is not exactly Brockton.
No, a little bit bigger than New Bedford, but look how New Bedford handled themselves last week, Paul. Against a really tough and a really big Brockton team, they held their own, and as we said time and time again, this New Bedford team is going to be a tough team in the future. As far as Durfee is concerned, I haven't seen Durfee before this year, being that I'm from out of town, but from what I hear, this is the best all-around Durfee team offensively and defensively that they've put on the field, perhaps in the last 5 years. So a lot is expected, and this should be a much better Thanksgiving Day game than in the past.
Last year, of course, a 42-0 win for the New Bedford Whalers, but at that time, New Bedford had perhaps one of their best teams ever, some would argue. That was the team that almost beat Brockton, losing to the Boxers 24-21. This year a little bit different. New Bedford a little on the young side. The Durfee Hilltoppers are hoping they can take advantage of some of that inexperience.
Well, certainly the one real positive thing from last week and heading into this game for New Bedford is that their offense is pretty diverse. Corey Medeiros filling in for Matt Trahan when he got injured and taking over at the helm for the Whalers. He's done a fine job. He's thrown the ball real well. He runs for a touchdown here and there. The running back tandem of Montero and Gonzalez, and here and there Sharik Mendez done the job real well. Jojo Godine, a freshman who's only 5'8" and 150 pounds, finds the holes. The offensive line doing the job. And for Durfee, they've done it as well. They haven't lost a game in 3, and they're on a roll.
New Bedford comes into the game at 5-4. Durfee Hilltoppers come in at 3-4-2. And as you said, last 3 games, the Durfee Hilltoppers 2 wins, no loss, and a tie. That's certainly a little bit different than the streak before that, when they only won 1 in the previous 20 games.
And I think the real big game for at the beginning of this streak was when they tied 13-13 to Bishop Steng, who was heavily favored.
Just taking a look at the series, New Bedford with 43 wins, Durfee with 16 wins, and there have been 4 ties. I was notified just before the start of the game that if this game were to end in a tie, there would be a tiebreaker. Each team would have a series of downs, and then at that time, the game would end in a tie if it was not broken. Durfee Hilltoppers pick it up. That's Kevin Costa. Costa at the 5-yard line. It was Bernardo with the kick. Costa dives over the 15-yard line, will be knocked down at about the 17. The Durfee Hilltoppers will take over 1st and 10, quickly setting them up on offense. Quarterback is Peter Sunnison. Wide receivers potentially will be Stephen Naraki, Chris Borges, and Corey Luz. Tight end is Mike Hayes. The center, Justin Carrero. The guards, Paul Salsina and John Medeiros, co-captains. And the tackles, Chris Cabral and Dave Almeida. Kyle Swist is the fullback. Jay Cummings is the halfback. 1st down and 10, the Hilltoppers take over at their own 17-yard line. Quick inside handoff. That's going to be 49, Jay Cummings. Gets the first handoff of the game. He'll barrel over the right side of his offensive line. New Bedford Whalers read it well on the defense. That's only a gain of about 3.
Paul, as we said in the introduction or in the intro, Kyle Swist with 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6 have been for over 60 yards. But also got to look out for Jay Cummings, who had, as I said, a real big game against Bishop Steng, and he's a big guy in the backfield, and he's going to create some problems for a small New Bedford defense.
2nd down and about 7 for the Durfee Hilltoppers. Inside it goes to Kyle Swist. He's going to be tripped up inside by Donna's favorite defender, number 42, Chris Gula, the small guy at only 5'1", 150, the junior.
And you can't even see him when the camera's on him. You know, but he does the job. He's right there in the center of the line. He's small, but I guess when you hit him, he doesn't fall.
You talk about Kyle Swist with his 10 touchdowns, particularly impressive because he has the most touchdowns in the entire Big 3 conference, and that takes into consideration a lot of great players for the Brockton Boxers. 3rd down and 6, the Toppers. Movement on the right side of that line. I think that's going to go against the number 65 of the Durfee Hilltoppers, and that is John Phoenix. He is one of the tackles on the right side of the line that we didn't mention earlier.
Phoenix just jumped. As you see him right there, he's a big guy. He's 200 pounds and standing on the right side of the of the line, and he just jumped offside. It looks like New Bedford, or rather Durfee's going to go with the running game and try to sort of barrel their way in and, pressure run, I guess you could say, right through that New Bedford line. They figure if they can do that early, they're going to be able to do it all game, the entire day.
Third down and 16 now. Make that about 10, rather, for the Durfee Hilltoppers at the 16. Sunnison on the rollout. Pitches out to Cummings. Cummings drops the ball. It's loose. New Bedford is there. And let's see who has the ball.
Well, Durfee recovered that.
Durfee fell on it.
Looks like Cummings picked that up, recovering his own fumble. That almost identical to 2 weeks ago when Brockton and New Bedford battled it out over in New Bedford. That's a dangerous play. If you don't have that play designed well, and if you're not comfortable with it, Paul, you just don't do it.
Particularly earlier in the ball game, when these teams certainly may be a little on the nervous side. This is the final day of high school football for many of these seniors, for all of the seniors, their last high school football game, and for many their last football game altogether for those who will not play in college. Borges with the kick. It'll split Montero and Correa. It's loose, and Durfee has the ball. Durfee falls on the ball at the 40-yard line.
And that was recovered, if I'm not mistaken, by number 42, Mark Megna. I'll tell you what, that took an incredible Durfee bounce right there. New Bedford looked like they shied away from the football, and those breaks really only go your way here and there, and when they do go your way, you got to capitalize. Durfee has to capitalize now. That was about a 50 or 60-yard pass completion. Or at least I hope so.
Chris Borges with a nice job of punting that ball as he split both Jeff Correa and Nathan Montero. They went back, and then it took a reverse New Bedford bounce. And that's how Megna was able to fall on the ball. Inside handoff to Swist. New Bedford not giving up much in the middle. We've talked about the New Bedford defense with its lack of size, but so far all the inside runs have given up minimal gains at best.
And Paul, Coach Bogan trying to run up the middle, trying to work and power his way through that reasonably small New Bedford line, not doing it. And I'm sure he's got a different, an alternative game plan. He's going to mix things up. He hasn't done it so far, but he figured why not try it again when they just gained 60 yards on a punt. Usually momentum is on your side in a situation like that.
Second down and about 8 now for the Durfee Hilltoppers. Breaking it around the side is going to be Cummings. And Cummings has a first down at the New Bedford Whalers 17-yard line. It looked as if it was going to be a handoff deep in the backfield. They managed to slip Cummings right up the middle for a huge gain.
People are going to expect Kyle Swiss to get the ball for the majority of the game, and you mix it up, you give it to Cummings. We're going to see that replay right here.
17-yard gain for Jay Cummings, rather.
And Sunnison is going to take the snap here. He's going to hand off quickly to Cummings, and he's going to just power his way in for the first down right there on the right side of the line. Big hole for him, and he took advantage of it.
John Casey on the eventual stop for the New Bedford Whalers. 1st and 10 for Durfee. Around the left, that's going to be number 4, if I'm not mistaken, and that is Kevin Costa, 5'7", 155-pound senior. Takes it around the left as they try to sneak in the opposite direction. That was not bad. Gain of about 4.
Yeah, it was a good play. It was a nice reverse by Costa right there. If you could gain 4 or 5 on a first down, you're going to do well all day long. So right now, Durfee, as I said, they took that fumble, and they're capitalizing right now. They're probably going to get at least 3 out of it, but Bogan wants 6.
Second down and 6 at the New Bedford Whaler 13-yard line. Pete Sunnison is the quarterback, pitches out to Swist. Swist accelerates around the side. Eventually stopped by 43. That's Chris Gomes along with John Casey, the first guy there. But that's going to be another pretty significant gain. He got inside the 10-yard line to about the 8.
Well, as you see right here, as you see right here, Swist around the side. Barrels his way in for about 6 or 7 for a first down, and there was a lot of room there on the right side. They're not doing anything running up the middle at New Bedford. They're going to have to do some other things, and Bogan hasn't thrown the ball yet, or Sunnison hasn't thrown the ball yet, but the running has done well for Durfee in the last 3 games at least, and they're going to keep it going this way.
They're going to measure right now just to make sure he did get past the first down marker. The marker is at about the 7-yard line, and they're measuring it right now. Looks like the tip of the football is at the edge, and it is inches. And the Durfee Hilltopper fans do not agree with that measurement.
They say, come on, give it to him. Give it to him. He's a couple of inches short. Give it to him. Sunnison, by the way, is 5'11". He's 170 pounds. He's a senior. He's done well for Durfee, and right now, Durfee moving the football.
Quick look at the New Bedford Whaler defense. The nose guard is Chris Gula. Defensive tackle Chad Cruz. Also Steve Gilmore on the line. The ends are Daryl Oliveira. Thomas Kwan is back deep in defensive coverage, along with Jeff Correa and John Casey. The linebackers, Chris Gomes and Steve Esteves. Pretty good defensive unit, a little on the slow side, but thanks to the first turnover of the game on the Durfee punt after their first series, they are ready to take it in here. And Sunnison dives over the first down marker. He will have the first down at about the New Bedford Whalers 6-yard line. Durfee on the move.
Well, that was a real conservative play, but a play that was needed. They needed the first down. They needed to try to get into the end zone, Paul, on 3. And get the first down and then move from there. And the game plan will pretty much change now that the first down was executed properly. Good play right there for New Bedford, or rather for Durfee and for their offense. Look at the crowd here today, I'll tell you. And people are waiting online down the street. There's no room for them there.
Wide to the right goes Naraki. Borges is wide to the left. First down and 10. Kyle Swist around the side. Going to be pulled down by TJ Goodine, who got him around the knees, and he was never able to recover from that or accelerate.
Goodine parried his way through the line and got a hold of Swiss before he even accelerated. There was no opportunity for him to gain a yard or two. That was a great defensive play, great penetration, and great intensity by the usual good wide receiver, or tight end, I guess Bedford likes to call him. He's a big guy.
So Durfee now at second down and goal at the New Bedford Whalers 7. Key point in the ball game. New Bedford would get a lift if they can hold him. Durfee would like to get in here and establish something. Inside it goes to Cummings in the opposite direction. He's pushing, and he's in for a touchdown.
Well, Paul, the crowd loves this one. I mean, Cummings is a big guy, and usually he'll barrel his way in for an extra yard or two. This touchdown was well needed. They executed. Here you'll see Cummings sees an opening. He hops over the defender, and he's in for the score without pretty much being touched on that. It was beautiful. It was executed well. The line gave him the open hole, and he just pretty much saw it and went from there. So it's now 6-0 Durfee. And as we say, and as you say time and time again, you've got to capitalize on the key turnovers. It's Thanksgiving. They're playing at home. The first turnover of the game, and hey, they took advantage of it. It's now 6-0. They try for the 2-point conversion right here.
Peter Sunnison rolling out. Pitches out to Swist. Stiff arms a guy. Dives to the corner, but he will be stopped at about the 1-yard line. 52 of the New Bedford Whalers, really the guy that slowed him down. And that's Steve Esteves, 5'11", 200-pound senior.
Well, I'll tell you, as we see the replay, the play was broken up immediately. Sunnison pitches out over there to Swiss. Swiss can't seem to get in. Why? Because there's a defender all over quarterback Sunnison even before he pitches out. The play was broken up before it even began. Great defensive stance right there. And can you tell, you can see the confidence that Durfee has in this guy, Swiss, going for the 2-point conversion as opposed to the extra point. They believe anytime they give it to either him or Cummings, they're going to make something happen. Right there, they didn't, unfortunately. But it's still 6-0 early in the game. And I mentioned the crowd, Paul. Look around you and then look out by the parking lot if you could see over there. People are waiting on line to get in here. There's no room. I got a nice seat here. How about you?
Pretty good. Little breezy, though, where we are. We're in the last row. That's why. We're getting hit from behind.
From behind? From behind
It's
what?
like being tackled.
I came up here and Paul said, hey, Donna, it's cold up here.
Yeah. And it isn't on the field.
Yeah, well, it's sunny on the field, though.
37 will be kicking off. You see him right there. That's Jerry Lowney of the Durfee Hilltoppers. Back deep for New Bedford. Nathan Montero and Sharik Mendes. They are stationed at about the 10-yard line. Line drive kick. Goodine picks it up smartly at the 30. Turns the corner, gets past the 35-yard line where he'll be knocked down by, ironically, the kicker, Lowney, one of the first guys there, number 37.
Joe Goodine has done everything right for the New Bedford Whalers. Coach Worth is key on this guy. That's what he says. He's a freshman, he's tiny, and he makes things happen. He's small, he's quick. He reminds, I guess, myself and just about anybody else who watches New Bedford, he reminds us of a David Meggett, you know?
Good field position for New Bedford. They start at their own 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Corey Medeiros is the quarterback. Jeff Correa is the guy in motion. Corey wants to throw right away, has Correa 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. but he's unable to haul the ball in as that one goes through his fingertips. New Bedford airing it out on first down.
Well, Medeiros has had a lot of success throwing the football in the middle of the field, not as much on the side of the field. We're going to see a replay as he just throws it right through the arms of number 87 for New Bedford.
82.
82, I'm sorry. That is Jeff Correa, as you said. I have a little trouble with the numbers here. It takes me about a quarter or two to get familiar with these guys.
Potential receivers, Correa, Goodine, and also Gonzalez. Inside it goes to Nathan Montero, breaks it big. And he will finally be knocked down by the Durfee Hilltoppers' Kevin Costa, 5'7", 155-pound junior. But take a look at that gain by Montero. It's a gain of about 20.
Montero's only 124 pounds. He stands at 5'6". And the one thing New Bedford loves to do, they love to run up the middle, as we see right there, that replay. And he gains, well, it's a big gainer for a first down right past midfield. But they love to run up the middle. They love to create the hole, which they do often. They did it against Brockton successfully for the most part. They feel they could do it against Durfee's defense. They love to run up the middle. They have this scooter type of running backs who are quick and who move around a lot. And that's the key. That's also a positive and a benefit for a small type running back.
That was a 16-yard gain by Montero of the New Bedford Whalers. The ball is at the enemy 48-yard line. There was an offside on Durfee. The New Bedford Whalers obviously declining it, and they take over. Play action. Medeiros fires, has Correa at the 36-yard line. He had to go down and get that one off the turf, but a nice little reception by Jeff. His first of the game, and keep an eye on that. We'll probably see that a few more times this morning.
Well, Correa does it well. Medeiros and Correa, they like each other, and they do well with it. You know, he's one of his favorite receivers. That ball was thrown low, Paul, as we see there. It was thrown low, right in the middle of a zone coverage, and there was really no other place for him to throw that ball. That ball was thrown perfectly, and they pick up another first down, so they're executing beautifully on the offense.
Jerry Lowney on the coverage. This time it's a pitch out to Joe Goodine. Goodine accelerates, has a first down and more. He's going to go in for a touchdown. New Bedford ties the game at 6.
And how we've seen this before, and we've seen it on Thanksgiving Day time and time again. Goodine accelerates through the middle of the line, finds the sideline, and just out-paces the defenders, the defensive backs, the quarterbacks, and anybody else who tried to take him down. We will see this replay once again. We said it time and time again. We'll continue. They love to run the little guys through the middle of the line. There you go. Medeiros pitches out, runs to the side. Actually, he ran right to the sideline throughout, and he just, number 4 right there, the only guy's going to get him. That's
Bernardo now with the kick. And New Bedford takes a 7-6 lead.
Well, I was mistaken there. Goodine did run up the middle. He just kind of ran a fly pattern up the sideline. And
Was that the middle?
Well, I didn't see that. The replay does it to me every time. It either makes me look wonderful or it just makes me look bad, you know, Paul.
I tell you, this has got to take the wind out of the Durfee Hilltoppers because they did move the ball pretty well, particularly when they recovered it after the fumble. Before the fumble, they didn't do too well. It was going to be 4 downs and out.
Right.
But when the New Bedford Whalers were unable to cover that punt and they recovered the ball in enemy territory, they really took advantage of it. But for New Bedford just to march down the field, it only took them a few plays to get into the end zone to cover all that territory. That's not good if you're Durfee and that man, Bob Bogan.
Well, certainly not, and I'll tell you, well said, and it was profound. New Bedford averaged about 12 yards.
Of course it was.
They averaged about 12 yards on each play right there, and hey, if you can do that throughout the game, you'll pile up about 62 points. So I don't know how I figured that one out, but I'm pretty sure of it, Paul.
Kevin Bernardo will be kicking off now for the New Bedford Whalers. We've got 4:25 to go. Here in the first quarter, New Bedford leads 7-6. Back deep for Durfee, Kevin Costa and Steve Naraki. Naraki used to be the quarterback at the beginning of the year. He switched. He's now a wide receiver. Peter Sunnison doing the quarterbacking for Durfee, and he'll get the ball back in just a second. Bernardo kicking off from his 40. It's a line drive kick. Costa will head over there. It's out of bounds. Flags down. New Bedford kicks again from deeper in their territory.
Well, I'll tell you the one thing that both coaches were concerned about today. Both coaches like to run, and New Bedford likes to throw the ball a little bit more than Durfee does. But you can't really do well. You can't really run well when it's real cold, when it's rainy, when it's slick, and when it's snowing. And that was the weather that was expected this afternoon. They got sunshine. They got some pretty freezing temperatures. But both teams, if they if they choose to run the ball, will probably be able to run the ball pretty well today. It's a great day for football. New Bedford, as we saw right there, powering their way right down the field in approximately 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So just a great offensive standing right there, a great offensive showing. And Durfee has to do something defensively to tighten themselves up and pretty much not widen the field nearly as much as they did right there.
Jay Cummings, a 7-yard run with 5:20 to go in the first quarter, 6-0 Durfee. That was Cummings' 3rd touchdown on the season. JoJo Goodine answers back a few moments later with a 36-yard run. Bernardo the kick, 7-6 New Bedford, and for JoJo Goodine, that was his 4th touchdown on the season. Very impressive run by JoJo, and that's where we stand now. Pretty close game. Line drive kick. Naraki takes it from the 17 on a bounce. Naraki out to about the 25-yard line. He's going to be pulled out of bounds by a whole host of New Bedford tacklers, led in part by number 35, Jamie Dias. He's the first guy there, and after that, whatever room was there was gone.
Well, that was a great stance right there by the special teams of New Bedford. Keep Durfee well within their own territory, and they're going to have a tough time of it throughout the entire afternoon.
Peter Sunnison will now take over his quarterbacking duties. 1 touchdown on the year for him. He is a junior, 5'11", 165 pounds. Keep an eye on Kyle Swist and Jay Cummings in the backfield as Durfee likes to run up the middle. And this time it's Jay Cummings. Cummings goes out to the left side that time. I think Bob Bogan was remembering what happened the last time Durfee had the ball, because when they tried that play, it was a gain of 10+.
Well, Cummings has done well. He's 5'10". He's about 190 pounds. He's a sophomore, so he's only going to get better and better. They have a great backfield right there. Durfee is just going to continue to get better with the backfield that they have. Swist is a senior, so he's going to be gone, but Cummings is going to get better. He's a big guy, and reminds me of a Tom Rathman for the 49ers. Everybody reminds me of somebody. Got to remind me of somebody, but he's real big. He's also quick, and he likes the middle of the line. He likes to run right up the middle.
Got to like the play of the Durfee Hilltopper offensive line. But here's a quick little pass, and Costa with a great catch for a Durfee Hilltopper first down at the 48-yard line. How do you like that? Durfee doesn't like to throw the ball too often, but they made the most of it there. Costa with a tremendous one-handed catch.
I wasn't sure who, we're going to see the replay. Sunnison goes back here, and he's got 2 receivers there. And I wasn't sure if he was throwing to Chris Borges or if he was going to throw to Costa. He threw to Costa. Costa made a great catch.
Got to give Bob Bogan a lot of credit for that call.
I'll tell you, that was, well, they hadn't thrown the ball once the entire game. It just started. We've got about 3:33 remaining, but they have to mix it up a little bit.
I like that. I like that call.
Yeah, I do too. They can do a little bit of everything too. And they're going to have to mix it up if they're going to beat New Bedford today. 1st and
10. They're at the 43, not the 48. That's because we're not at midfield. That's why that happened. As Kyle Swiss goes off to the right. You see, we're at the 45. Well, so it looked like midfield,
well,
right?
Why are we at the 45?
Because they wanted to freeze us. That's why. Now, because I requested this spot.
That's
so I take all the credit and all the blame.
I like this 45-yard line view. It's a great view.
Hey, if
just move the field.
How would you like to be at the 45-yard line for the Super Bowl, huh? Then you'd be saying, wow, Santos picked a great spot.
Yeah, exactly. What if we were calling the game at the 45-yard line at the Super Bowl? I'd say, Santos, lend me some money.
2nd down and 8 to go now for the Durfee Hilltoppers. 1 wide out to the right. Quick pitch out, and that's going to be Kyle Swist. Kyle Swist has the first down. He breaks it around the side. Will be inside the 40. Knocked out of bounds at the New Bedford Whaler 36-yard line. The Durfee Hilltoppers continuing to run the ball successfully against this New Bedford defense.
All Kyle Swist, the replay right there. Sunnison going to go back. He's going to hand off to Swist right there. He's going to pitch out to him. Swist doesn't know. He's a little bit confused, but breaks. I can't see the screen. See that?
Jeff Correa eventually with a stop there.
See, I said it time and time again also last year, and you have to continue to say this. Running backs make the play. If there's a situation where you're going to be tackled or there's a defender in front of you, you got to make it happen. And he did. He cut inside a little bit, and he found the open hole and ran for 22 yards.
1st down and 10 at the New Bedford Whaler 36-yard line. Jay Cummings pushing and pushing over the right side of his offensive line, but the New Bedford Whalers are there, and they say, no, I don't think so, for one. Number 62, Daryl Oliveira, one of the bigger guys on the New Bedford Whalers defensive line. He's a defensive end, actually 6'4", 220, and I suppose they'd like to have a row of those, huh?
I'll tell you, Durfee they're looking real good. They're doing everything they have to do. Swiss right before that, he was a little unsure, didn't know what he was going to do, hesitated, and then broke through for a 22-yard gain when he found an opening or saw a quick opening, and that's what you got to do as a quick running back.
Gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. Kyle Swiss with the pitch. Plenty of room. He's going to be knocked down at about the New Bedford Whaler 25-yard line. I believe he will have the first down, and he does.
Kyle Swiss, 175 pounds, a little bit lighter than Jay Cummings. Cummings, the fullback, a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. But Kyle Swiss, he's run for 1,000 yards. And right there we see it. He pitches out, runs to the sideline. He's got about 5-6 yards of open field before he's tackled right there. And they're running the ball beautifully against New Bedford's defense. New Bedford's going to have to change a couple of things coming in. When they go into the half, Worth's going to have to talk to them. They're going to have to change that defensive scheme a little bit. They're running right at him, and they're doing it successfully.
Mark that down as a gain of 11 for Kyle Swiss. First down and 10. Durfee Hilltoppers at about the New Bedford Whaler 25-yard line. This time the Whalers close it up pretty well.
Well, that was my favorite guy right there, number 42.
Gula.
Gula just kind of penetrates the line, jumps over, and gets a hand on Swiss, grabs around his ankles, because that's the only place he can really find, the place he can really grab onto.
Chris Gula, 5'1", 150 pounds. He is the nose guard.
And he does a real good job, too.
Just a note to his family. We're really praising him.
We are.
Really, because he's so small, and the guy goes in there. I don't know how he does it.
Utilize it to the best of your ability, and that young man does it.
2nd down and 8 now for Sunnison. Hands off to Cummings. Cummings breaks an initial tackle, but he's only able to get 1 more yard after that. He gets down to about the 20-yard line, maybe the 19 with that final thrust. New Bedford trying to close up a little on the middle, and we'll take a look at it here. They did it pretty well.
Well, what you see there is that the defensive line kind of just overpower the offensive line. You get off the ball a little bit quicker, and you're going to have a good. You're going to successfully create the play, or perhaps not. Good penetration again by the defensive line. They jumped off the ball a little bit before the offensive line, and pretty much closed up all the holes on the right side of the field for Durfee.
Steve Esteves there for New Bedford on that last stop. 3rd down and 5. He was trying to throw. He had a man downfield, flags on the play. I think he was trying to hit Costa, but he lost the ball and kind of dropped it.
Well, he hit number 39, Chad Cruz of New Bedford, who actually caught that as it bounced off one of Durfee's lineman's back. There you have it, and that was an interception. You didn't see that, Paul. We're going to take a look at that again. He pretty much just lost control of the football, hit one of his offensive linemen's back, and it went right into the hands of Cruz, and you'll see that as we look at the replay right here, if we can get a replay. Okay, well, we don't get a replay there, and that's probably good, because everyone missed that but me.
Ineligible man downfield. Did you see the penalty that was declined?
Well,
I saw that one.
I saw the flag.
That's why we have 2 people here. New Bedford takes over, 1st down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Inside handoff, Jojo Gadine, the fullback. Jojo crashes over the left side of that line. That's a pretty good gain of 7. Just want to run down New Bedford on offense if we could here, just to make sure that everybody gets credit where credit is due. Quarterback is Corey Medeiros. Fullback is Jojo Gadine. Tailbacks Nathan Montero and Sharik Mendy switching off. Potential receivers, wide receivers, Marcel Gonçalves, Jeff Correa. The tight end is TJ Gadine. On the offensive line, it's Matt McKay. The center, the guard, Steve Esteves, Rich Ribeiro. The tackle switching off, Daryl Oliveira, Fred Bradley, and Brian Cardozo. And we'll see those guys go to work when 2nd quarter action comes up in just a couple of minutes. It's New Bedford leading 7-6. Back in a moment. We're at Mac Aldrich Field in Fall River, the traditional Thanksgiving matchup between the New Bedford Whalers and the Durfee Hilltoppers. New Bedford clinging to a 7-6 lead, as we said a moment ago. Jay Cummings, the only scorer for Durfee. Jojo Gadine answered back with a kick from Kevin Bernardo. New Bedford out in front by a score of 7-6, and kicking those extra points and running those 2-point conversions, that could come back to haunt these teams, as Durfee didn't convert when they went for 2.
Well, you mentioned it a little bit earlier too. Offensively, Durfee so-so. They've done well. They've been held pretty much by New Bedford's defensive line. They've made a few things happen. New Bedford, Corey Medeiros does 2 things very, very well. One, he throws the ball very, very well, and he's great with the fake. If you can do that, those 2 things well all day long, they're going to have some success. And I'll tell you what, New Bedford, or rather Durfee, has not stopped New Bedford at all today.
Brief stoppage in play. The ball is spotted at the New Bedford Whaler 27-yard line. It's a 2nd down and 2 to go.
Was it a stoppage of play, or was it a timeout, one of the 22 timeouts these teams have?
20. It was an official's timeout. Wanted to correct the downs. So it's 2nd down and 2. Jeff Correa is wide to the right. Corey Medeiros rolling out. He's going to be hit. He manages to get the ball away, but that's going to be grounding, I'm sure, as the Durfee Hilltoppers pin him back pretty good. 63 on the hit. Chris Cabral, 6'4", 220. How do you do?
Paul, right now, as we look to the sideline and see Coach Bogan, he is vehement. No flag was thrown on that. We're going to see the replay. 2 defenders on Medeiros. No flag is thrown for intentionally grounding that. You got to protect the quarterback a little bit better. The people are screaming, nice call.
There's Bob. Look at him.
He is just vehement. That should have been a penalty. That should have been a flag. He was on the ground before he threw that ball. No way should that have been a
3rd down and 2. Corey Medeiros will keep it. Finally, he pitches out to Sharik Mendes. Nice little decision. And he will take it outside for a 1st down. That is going to be spotted at about the 38-yard line.
Bogan still vehement about that call. And I'll tell you what, you said something just now. You said good pitch out, did it just in time, great play. Except last week it didn't work 3 of the 4 times that they tried that early in the game. If it works, it's a great play. If it doesn't work, it's a terrible play. Do you want to keep the ball in a situation like that, or do you want to pitch out to the guy, behind you who's got 6 defenders on him? I'm not sure I like that play. Although Worth likes it, and he keeps going to it.
And that grounding thing, right?
Yeah.
You take a look at this play here. It's going to be JoJo going nowhere this time. That grounding thing, the only thing I can think of that maybe is the rationale of the referee is that his arm was halfway through the throw when he was hit, and there really isn't any way of predicting where the ball was going. Maybe he was heading for a receiver, and that's why he went that way.
Paul, I agree with you, except he didn't raise his arm upon the first hit. He was hit by 2 defenders. When he was hit initially, he didn't have his arm in the air. He started to throw when the 2nd guy was coming after him and grabbed onto him. That should have been a penalty right there.
2nd down and 8 now for New Bedford. Quick pass to Correa. Correa hauls it in. Pushing to the 1st down marker. I believe he will be past the 50-yard line. The marker was at the 49. The New Bedford Whalers should have a 1st down right here at about midfield.
Well, the problem right there was that the defensive back was pretty lenient with that play. We're going to see the replay. Defender back about 6-7 yards off the line when the ball was snapped. You're pretty much going to have you're going to have success throughout the game if you're going to do that. You got to stay with your receiver and don't let him have the 5-6 yards right as the ball snapped right off the ball. Don't because you're going to get you're going to get yelled at by Dan Bogan.
Dan and Bob.
Oh wait, okay, Dan's his father. And isn't he?
Oh, he's going to yell too.
Wasn't he the mayor?
Yeah, he was for a while. He was the interim mayor.
Yeah, I remember.
And he did a great job.
Yeah, he did. Everybody seemed to like him.
1st down and 10. Corey Medeiros. Play action to Sharik. Lofts it over. Has Goodine, but Goodine drops the ball. He had the ball about 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage and had plenty of daylight to get the 1st down if he could have hauled the ball in.
No, Paul. Goodine ran before he had the ball.
That's it.
He knew he was hearing some footsteps. He knew he had a couple of defenders. There goes Medeiros back. He's going to pitch out to his right. He's going to throw to Goodine. Godine's there. He's got about 7 or 8 yards of open field, but he looks upfield before he has his hands on the ball and he drops it. That's a bad play. Worth's going to get on him for that. But he's a pretty good back. He's done pretty well for this team. He does a little bit of everything.
2nd down and 10.
How come you're pushing me like that?
Marcel Gonzalez wide to the right. Jeff Correa wide to the left. Just wanted you to keep an eye on the replay. Corey fumbles the ball on the snap and does the smart thing right there. Instead of trying to pick it up and run with it and then get creamed and turn the ball over, he decides to just fall on it, make it a 3rd down and 11, and see if New Bedford can pass it away here.
Well, New Bedford more than capable of 3rd down conversions, 3rd and long conversions, and they've done it all day today. They didn't have a chance to do it. They haven't had much of an opportunity to do it all day today, but they've done it pretty much throughout this season. And Medeiros coming in for an injured Matt Trahan, and
Sharik Mendes wide to the right with Jeff Correa. The pressure will be on Kevin Costa and Steve Naraki. They are the deep backs. Corey Medeiros rolling out, fires as Correa. That ball was tipped and almost intercepted by number 45 of the Durfee Hilltoppers, Rick Palumbo, who was hoping you'd be able to haul that thing in after the tip. New Bedford now in a 4th down situation with 11 to go. They'll be punting the ball away here. This is the first time that Durfee stopped.
Yeah, that was a good possession right there. Good defensive standing right there. The play that hurt them right there was a fumble on the snap, but
Jeff Correa punting from about his own 38-yard line. And it's Steve Naraki. Wanted to pick it up, but it took a Durfee Hilltopper bounce. Didn't really help the Toppers, though, as it went sideways and back toward New Bedford. It'll die at about the 20-yard line, where the Durfee Hilltoppers will take over 1st and 10.
Paul, Medeiros' favorite play, he rolls to his right. He feels comfortable rolling to his right. He throws to Godine around the sideline about 10, 15 yards upfield. Little dangerous play right there, though. It looked like it was a man-to-man coverage and strong safety right on Godine, or rather right on Carrera's back, and that could have easily been intercepted on the tip. That was a very dangerous play. Medeiros had to get rid of the ball, however.
The Durfee Hilltoppers take over now at their own 19-yard line. 2 receivers out to the left this time, Kevin Costa and Steve Naraki. Peter Sunderson is the quarterback, Jay Cummings and Kyle Swiss in the backfield. Quick inside handoff, and that ball will go to pretty much the line of scrimmage and no more.
Well, Durfee started off the game running up the middle, hoping that the offensive line could create some holes. You win a ball game on a stronger line, on a line that's creating the big play for you. And Durfee's, or rather New Bedford's defensive line, early in the game doing the job, had a couple of had a couple of bad situations early in the first quarter, but now they look like they're coming back strong defensively, and Durfee's going to have to do something offensively. They're going to have to throw the ball a little bit.
Shane Jordan got the ball that time for the Durfee Hilltoppers, his first appearance of the day. This time Sunnison will roll out. Pitches out to the same guy, but Daryl Oliveira is the second man there as he finishes off the tackle. No room for 25 Shane Jordan to take it around the side there.
Correa was not fooled at all defensively on that play, and that play pretty much a great defensive play all around for New Bedford. Penetrated, we're going to see pitch out right there. Kyle Swiss loses about 3 yards because number 82, Jay Correa, is all over Swiss before he even grabs the football. I don't like that option play all that much. You do it once in a while, it's great, but if you do it 2 of 3 running plays, your defense is going to be on you.
Passing situation here for the Durfee Hilltoppers, 3rd down and 13. Naraki wide to the right. Peter Sunnison dropping back. Lofts it over. Has Sunnison. And he is going to gain about 10 yards, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough for a first. He will be short by 2.
Well, Sunnison to Naraki.
Let's check it out again right here and see if he makes it. 4th down and 1. He was short.
That's a bad play offensively. If you know as a receiver where you have to go for the first down, you got to get there.
They're not going for it, are they?
Well, they are.
Gutsy call here. And the crowd loves it. Sunnison, quick inside handoff. He twists and twists.
Well,
flags all over the place.
Right there. Looked like Durfee jumped offside, and if they did, indeed, they're going to have to punt here. But actually, no, Durfee says New Bedford jumped off the ball, and they did.
First down, Durfee.
What do I know?
I guess we'll never know if he had it. I don't think he did.
Well, you can't see from here. You can't see from. Can we take it from the other angle of the field? Well,
you mean reverse angle?
We got a couple of great directors and producers, and our camera people doing an outstanding job for us today, and have done so all season long.
We can't get too greedy. Reverse angle.
Right.
I mean, come on now.
We can't have Gilberto Nobrega go to the other side of the field, and we can't do it, Paul.
1st down and 10 now. The Durfee Hilltoppers benefiting from a penalty here. Their first touchdown was a result of a New Bedford turnover when the ball was punted about 50 yards and Durfee took over deep in enemy territory. So Pete Sunnison dropping back, lofts it over, has Costa, a lot of coverage. Jojo Goodine reached up and had a chance to intercept that ball as he was standing right in front of Kevin Costa, but it bounces out of his hands. The ball is dropped at the enemy 45, 2nd and 10, Durfee.
You have Goodine, Paul, you have Correa right on the defender. The ball was lofted up. If it was going to be thrown at Costa at all, should have been should have been thrown to him. It shouldn't have been lofted. That's a dangerous play. You got to zip the ball in on a situation like that. The replay is going to show it. He lost it in, and there's one guy in black and about 4 in white. So.
And I was watching as the ball was lofting in the air. All of the defensive backs of New Bedford just kind of surrounded him as the ball was hanging there.
You have an opportunity, even if you're 3-4 yards off the ball, to catch up to it if it's lofted like that in the air.
It's a flea flicker. The ball is thrown. The Rocky is there. Oh, it's just over his head at the enemy 35-yard line. You gotta like the call as it was pitched out to Jordan, and Jordan lofted it deep.
And as you see Naraki right there, mad at himself, that ball was perfectly thrown, Paul. That ball was off his fingertips. He was led about 5-6 yards. We're going to see the replay.
I think that was Jordan.
I couldn't see it, but there it's lofted. Beautifully thrown ball, a little bit high, but led him by about 5-6 yards, as I was saying. Put it right where it had to be.
Pretty nice crowd here at Mac Aldrich Field, as you can see them all standing in the right end zone. That is the way you come into Mac Aldrich Field, to the right. That's why people are standing down there. Those who couldn't get seats, and there aren't too many seats available here.
That's right. This is a great crowd on this Thanksgiving Day. A nicer day than was expected this afternoon, so a lot more fans coming out. Although I think these fans come out for this game regardless of the weather. We look at the Durfee sideline right there.
They just called timeout.
That's right. One of the 5 timeouts called by Durfee. This is a good game. It's close. It's 7-6. People probably expected it to be this close. I'm wondering, Paul, a couple of key pass plays, receivers dropping the ball off their fingertips. Godine right there, Naraki. Do you think the cold perhaps has anything to do with this?
It's a little on the chilly side. I don't think it's as windy down there as it is up here, but I don't think so. I think maybe just a few jitters maybe is contributing to the fact that the ball has been dropped a little bit. I'm a little surprised and actually happy to see the Durfee Hilltoppers throwing the ball. Now right here they're pinned at 3rd down and 10 because there were 2 incomplete passes, but that second one was just a tremendous call as they pitched it out to Shane Jordan, the old halfback option, and they had Kevin Costa wide open at the enemy 35-yard line, and if he had caught that ball, he would have been gone, probably gone. It would have been up to JoJo to try to catch up to him because JoJo Godine was the last defensive back there, but that is a gutsy call. Now here it's 3rd down and 10. They're at their own 34-yard line. They'll probably have to put it up again. Sunnison lofts it. No one around. And it is intercepted by JoJo Godine. Godine takes it at the 50. Godine turns the corner. He's going to be knocked down at the Durfee Hilltopper 48.
That's the first turnover of the day for New Bedford, and what a time for it. It was a 3rd and long play. They get the ball back now just about midfield. And great catch right there by Godine, who knocks into Korea and almost loses the ball. We see right there, Sunnison back, lost it once again. Nobody there but New Bedford defenders, and Godine comes down with the ball right there, gets to about the 47 or 48-yard line, just about to midfield, and just a really good defensive play. Not a good pass. You can't loft it up there like that.
New Bedford takes over 1st down and 10 at their own 48-yard line. Corey Medeiros rolling out, fires, has Correa, but again the ball goes through the hands of Jeff, and he was stationed at about the Durfee Hilltopper 40-yard line.
Well, you're right, Paul. Jitters, Thanksgiving Day jitters, a big game today, and it's a little bit cold. Usually Medeiros to Korea, that ball's not dropped. It's usually a pretty successful tandem right there, and it's been that way all season long. Cold out here.
Yeah. So far, the New Bedford offense has been throwing the ball about as often as we expected, but it's really the Durfee Hilltopper offense that has gone deep into the playbook and has put the ball up a couple of times with not a lot of success, but only a bounce here and a bounce there has taken away potential numbers, big numbers.
But you know what? Right now
that ball is lost, and it's going to be Durfee recovering the fumble.
And who's that recovered by? See,
Paul Salsina, I think, may have been there. You see him 54. He was one of the guys in there.
Well, they give it.
No, New Bedford had the ball. It came loose, and hey, I guess New Bedford. Let's take a look at it right here.
We have to see it right here.
See, I thought they stripped him, but I guess they were just happy that they stopped him so well, huh? Now Durfee's got the ball. See, I was right the first time. I was right the first time.
You were right.
I should have stopped.
Well, you saw Godine there. That's what you saw.
Swist fumbles. And Swist will fall on his own fumble as the New Bedford Whalers are surging on the defense. 56 for New Bedford, the first guy there, and that's defensive tackle Steve Gilmore call him LT, 56.
We'll see that replay once again. Tipped off the fingertips, rather knocked off the fingertips of Swiss, and he doesn't have the ball at all there. It's a good thing he gets it back, loses a couple of yards on that. And it's cold. I think that the ball seems a bit, when it's this cold, the ball's almost like a rock.
It's like
and
a rock.
It's heavier. And
I was just thinking that.
You were?
I was going to say like a rock.
Like a rock?
Like a rock.
Isn't that a song?
There's a song, Like a Rock.
You were thinking that too.
We could use that.
We could.
Put a soundtrack on there. 2nd down and 14. Kyle Swiss gets the handoff. Gets a couple of blocks. Flags down. Somebody hit.
Well, that's either going to be a holding call on the offense or it's going to be a
grabbing the face mask.
That's exactly what I thought it was going to be. I always say the one I think on the second. It's one of two things, this or this. It's that.
This is going to be big because if it's intentional, it'll be 15 yards and it'll give Durfee a first down. It could only be 5, though.
That's right there. He grabbed right onto the face mask trying to pull him down because Swiss was surging backwards for about 5 or 6. They tried to stop him. It's going to be an intentional 10-yard or 5-yard penalty.
Unintentional.
Rather. I meant unintentional. I did mean that.
Still, it puts the Durfee Hilltoppers in a great spot. 2nd down and 2. You can do almost whatever you want in a play like this. It's kind of a free play.
Air, Paul.
Kevin Costa goes wide to the left. Steve Naraki wide to the right. 2nd down and 2. Handoff this time to Cummings. Lots of daylight. Flags down. Cummings barrels down to about the New Bedford Whaler 35-yard line and are grabbing the face mask on Durfee this time. Take that.
I'll tell you, I'm not so sure, Paul, that I really like that play. 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2, you're running the ball well. Although you say that Durfee hasn't had all that much success putting the ball up, as we see the replay right there. There's Cummings around, sees an open field.
I know what you're saying. I tend to agree with you because when you are at a 2nd down and short, you can put the ball up, and if it's not caught, it's not successful, you still have a 3rd down and a couple, and actually you're in enemy territory, so you could actually go on 4th down.
Exactly. You have nothing to lose on a pass play right there, especially when you've got a fullback who's about 190 pounds, who can surge his way for a couple of yards. And Bogan is mad, not at the officials right there, but at his guy. Actually, he's been mad at the officials all day.
Well, you see what happened there was they called it an intentional face mask against the Durfee Hilltoppers, and it was unintentional when they called it against New Bedford, so that's going to pin them all the way back. It's now a 2nd down and about 13. So now I suppose they'll have to put it up. Kyle Swiss rolling out. He's going to keep this, and he's going to be mauled about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. New Bedford with tremendous pursuit.
Penetration and pursuit all over the ball right there. Just a great defensive play. Not a play that I agree with. You try to get at least half of the yardage back to make it somewhat of a 3rd and about 7 or 8 there. Actually, it would be 3rd and 10 there, 3rd and 11. But if in fact you gain about 10 yards in a first down pass or 2nd down pass play, but I guess Bogan a little bit conservative right here, and he feels he can run the ball right at New Bedford's defense, which he's done pretty well throughout the afternoon so far.
2 wideouts to the left this time. It's Naraki and Costa. 3rd down and 17. Flags down right away. It's lofted over the middle. Tipped and intercepted by New Bedford's John Casey after it went through 2 fingertips. And the ball will be spotted now at about the 35-yard line. Let's see what those flags are all about.
Paul, the flag was thrown right as the play got off, right as Sunnison got off the ball. We see the replay and we see the interception right there by Casey. People are screaming, you blew the whistle, so the play should have been blown dead at the fans' field before it even got started. It's going to be a New Bedford. No, it's going to be
the penalty went against Durfee, and New Bedford declined it.
Okay.
But Durfee is saying that the whistle blew right at the snap.
Right.
And that they should have blown it dead right there. That's the argument.
Well, what was the flag? What was the penalty for? Was it an offside or an illegal man in motion or something like that? Well, when it is an illegal man in motion, it normally is blown dead at the snap of the ball.
So New Bedford takes over now, 1st down and 10 at their own 36-yard line, 2:44 to go here in the half. New Bedford leading 7-6. And the Durfee Hilltopper fans like this.
They're going to review the play. That's a little joke, Paul. It's funny, Paul.
The official dropped the flag.
Oh, goodness.
By mistake. That's an unintentional flag dropping. Jeff Correa in motion. Corey. Quick handoff to Nathan Montero. Nathan Montero with quick acceleration over the right side of his offensive line, crosses the 40, knocked down at about the 43-yard line. They'll call that a gain of, I'd say about 6.
And I call that an old-fashioned football play on a cold afternoon on this Thanksgiving Day.
So he looked like he was going one way, and then he went to the right.
Well, he's been good with that. Running back has to make the play happen. He's got to see the open field as he's making the play happen, and he's got to find the hole. 2nd down and 4 at the 42. Corey, play action, finds Goodine, and Goodine has a first down. He carries the ball down to the Durfee Hilltopper 36. Well, that was a great play. It was just an inside route, and Medeiros found him wide open there and gains about 12 or 13 yards after he catches the ball. That's how the play is designed, and it worked beautifully in New Bedford's favor. New Bedford now has the ball at the Durfee Hilltopper 42-yard line. There's 1:59 to go here in the half. New Bedford trying to build on a 7-6 lead to go into the halftime locker room. I think Durfee would be happy to hold them here. Outside it goes to number 29, Nathan Montero. Montero loses his footing at about the 20-yard line, and he was thinking about getting up and running, but you can't do that here. This isn't the pros. Well, Montero tackles himself right there. Unfortunately, the field right in the middle, as you can see. The sidelines are pretty good, but the middle of the field is a little bit wet and not in the best of shape, and he just pretty much got his cleats stuck in the in what we consider to be our grass turf. First down and 10, New Bedford there on the 19-yard line. 1:34 to play in the half. Corey, play action. Screens it out to Montero. And Montero down to about the 15-yard line of the Durfee Hilltoppers. That'll be a gain of about 4. And New Bedford will call a timeout here to stop the clock with 1:20 to play in the half. Paul, that was a great play, and if we could see the replay once again, great play by quarterback Medeiros. He looks downfield. He's looking at his primary receiver, which was Jay Correa. Correa was covered beautifully by the secondary, and went to his second receiver right there, Montero. He gains, it was a nice gain, about 6-7 yards, and nice when you have the option when you look downfield and you don't see anybody, and you got a guy like that. Right next to you who can catch the ball, run the ball, and make a play, make things happen. Hey, if they gained 2-3 yards, he would have been happy on that. Durfee's defense not playing bad. A couple of big plays, a couple of big breakthroughs by New Bedford, but then so did Durfee. Durfee hasn't had that much success throwing the ball, although Sunnison, when he has thrown the ball, he's thrown it reasonably well, with the exception of a couple of loft passes that he's thrown for interceptions. They're going to go into the locker room. It's right now 7-6. Nobody would have believed this one at this point. What a perfect game, and Bogan's going to have to do a couple of things offensively with his team when they talk at halftime. 2nd down and 6 now for Corey Medeiros in the New Bedford offense. Jeff Correa in motion to the left. Pitch out to Nathan Montero, flags down. Montero barrels past the 10-yard line. He'll be knocked down at about the enemy 8, and that is exactly where the first down marker is. Paul, I saw that play happening before it happened. Correa is running all the way to the left side of the field right there. Why? To spread out the defense so that Montero can run up the middle. Beautifully designed play. You could see it from up here. Durfee pretty much didn't see it from down there. New Bedford with some illegal motion. That's going to move the ball back about 5 yards. This is a big help for the Durfee Hilltopper defense that is trying to hold New Bedford here, as they'd like to hold this at 7-6 going into that halftime locker room. The ball will be spotted now at about the Durfee Hilltopper 21-yard line, where New Bedford will be facing a 2nd down and about 13. A quiz for you, Paul, and for everybody out there. When was the last time Durfee won? What was the score? I got the answer. You do? And I'm not even looking at that. Okay, well, you'll tell us right after this play then. 17-7 and 83. Corey Medeiros rolling left. Fires. Has Montero. Montero is near the first down marker. He's going to be knocked down there. It's going to be very close to a first down. It may be one. Make that Jojo Goodine. He was standing on the other side of Nathan Montero. Here's a guy that can run and catch
and run after the catch.
Does he remind you, we're going to see the replay right here, and I'll ask you this question in just a second. There goes Medeiros rolling this time to his left, finds an open Godin on the sideline right there, and he's tackled at about the 8-yard line for a first down, beautifully designed play, and they've done that well all season long. So I'll tell you my question. Doesn't Godin remind you of a Dave Meggett for the Giants? A little guy. Matter of fact, he's got the same number.
That helps.
Yeah, and just a good all-around little back. I'm wondering if Bob Bogan goes into the locker room at halftime, if he's down, say, by perhaps 8 points, would that be okay? Would he feel good about that? What do you think?
Feel better if it was 1.
That's a good answer.
They're in a position to stop him right here, and I think that if Durfee can stop New Bedford, going into the halftime locker room would be a pretty good lift.
And momentum for the second half.
Corey Medeiros pitches out to Sharik Mendes. Sharik turning the corner. I believe Sharik may have the first down at about the Durfee Hilltopper 7-yard line, and he does. Nice little play as they pitched it out to the little guy, Sharik Mendes. He's 5'5", 145-pound freshman. He's got 4 touchdowns on the season, and he's just another one of those quick New Bedford tailbacks.
And some great camera work over there on the sidelines by our staff as Mendes is lying there on the sidelines and getting up. They've done a great job so far today and all season long. The epitome Mendes is of what could be an unsung hero, you know? He's a guy that if he makes something happen, if he scores a touchdown, they say, well, there's the guy that nobody ever sees.
New Bedford calls another timeout. They're utilizing all 5 of them here. 31 seconds to go in the half. And it's first down and goal at the 4.
Paul, the advantage New Bedford has is that in their backfield, they've got Gonzalez, Godin, Montero, Mendes, all of them contributing every game, doing the little things to make the big things happen. When you've got 4 guys to follow you as a quarterback, you're going to have a lot of success. They've done that this year. They're 5-4, and it's been a good year. I think Worth would have, or felt that it easily could have been perhaps 7-2 this season. Their record I'm speaking about, but
they certainly have a lot of weapons they can go to. It's not like you can key on one guy.
Absolutely.
Jeff Correa in motion. First and goal at the 4, New Bedford. Medeiros rolling left, keeping the ball, puts his head down. Touchdown! Corey Medeiros. And it's 13-6 New Bedford.
Well, Paul, I feel like the unsung hero right now. I don't like the pitch back. I don't like the option play when it's, as we see right here, we're going to see a possible option play, but we see Medeiros keeping the ball. Actually, that wasn't an option play because there was nobody behind Medeiros, but it looked like it was sort of set up that way. If you got an opportunity to score the touchdown, you do it.
Kevin Bernardo attempting the extra point, and a gust of wind picks that ball up and pulls it to the left.
I also think that might have been tipped by Durfee right there. I'm not sure by who, but that was a big play right there. Make 13-6, keeping it to within a touchdown of a tie ball game. And as I was saying, that option play dangerous when you pitch back because you're in danger. And right there, Medeiros' option to keep the ball this time.
Probably about 20 seconds by the time the kick is done by Bernardo. The ball is scooped up at the 25. He breaks it. He could be gone. Touchdown! Rick Palumbo. And it's all tied up with 15 seconds to go in the half.
Durfee needed the big play, and what an apropos time with 15 seconds remaining. Swiss breaks all the tackles, runs right up the sideline, untouched. It isn't Swiss, it's number 45, Palumbo. I have apologized, and he is in for the touchdown, and we're right now with a possibility to tie the game going into the half. Bogan and the boys of Durfee have to be thrilled. Worth a little disappointed, perhaps. Big play, great opportunity for a big play. What a time for a big play, and what a game on this freezing cold, frigid Thanksgiving afternoon.
15 seconds to go now. The Durfee Hilltoppers will attempt a 2-point conversion to take the lead. Kyle Swist leaping, and he's going to be pulled down by the New Bedford Whalers number 52, and that is linebacker Steve Esteves, 5'11", 200-pound senior. And we have a pretty good game brewing here.
And
it's 13-12, New Bedford by 1.
I'll tell you, Paul, I'm not real happy with that. I would have, I would have perhaps felt, or the fans certainly here, going into the locker room tied at 13, they would have felt great. They choose again the same play on that 2-point conversion, pitching out to Swist, and he stopped at about the 1-yard line right there. They're down by 1, but I'll tell you something. The tie game would have made him feel a whole lot better.
So now with 15 seconds left, the New Bedford Whalers will get the ball back. The chances of them doing anything with that amount of time certainly not that good, but look what Durfee did when they got it back. They ran the thing back. New Bedford certainly would like a huge return. If they can get the thing to, say, the 50-yard line or into enemy territory, they would have a few seconds to work with here to try to build on that lead. 13-12, a very exciting game here at Mac Aldrich Field. This could be one of those that will go down to the wire, and maybe one of those that they'll talk about years from now as being one of the closer and more memorable games.
And we certainly hope that that is the case, sitting here and watching this game and calling the game. If you're going to win a game, Paul, you're going to have to do well on your special teams. And usually, if you win a game such as this, and a game like this, you're going to look down, you're going to see what's gone on, you're going to see the good and the bad, you're going to see that the special teams played a heck of a game.
Lowney now with a kick for the Durfee Hilltoppers. It's a line drive one. He gets it by JoJo Godine. It's going to be picked up by Sharik Mendes at the 20. Sharik to the 25, knocked down at about the New Bedford Whaler 27-yard line. Pretty good coverage that time by the Durfee Hilltoppers, and you saw them right there purposely kicking the ball like a shank to make sure that the New Bedford Whalers would not return the favor and run the thing back. Here's the kick here.
It's just going to be a line drive kick. They want to keep it on the ground. They don't want an opportunity right there, possibility of a big play by New Bedford, and it worked real well. Special teams, there's more to special teams than running a kickback or a punt back for a touchdown. It's coverage on the kick, coverage on the punt, and making sure that you do your best to get yourself in good field position on almost all.
New Bedford decides here with only 11 seconds left to fall on the ball as they were held deep in their own territory, and they will go into the locker room with a 13-12 lead. A very exciting Thanksgiving game here in 1991. New Bedford 13, Durfee 12. We'll be back with halftime entertainment, and then what we really do think will be an exciting second half from Mac Aldrich Field right after this. Second half action about to begin here on this Thanksgiving Day at Mac Aldrich Field. The New Bedford Whalers leading the Durfee Hilltoppers by a score of 13-12. Scoring for the New Bedford Whalers, JoJo Godine and Corey Medeiros. Scoring for the Durfee Hilltoppers, Jay Cummings, and also that tremendous 68-yard kickoff return by Rick Palumbo.
Just a great first half all around. Good defense, couple of good offensive plays, throwing the ball a little bit, and both teams having some success. New Bedford a little bit more, but Paul, that run back really turned the game around. Momentum as you look on the sidelines. Look at Durfee's team right there. I mean, they're just really up, and that really got them up. It fired them up, and that's what they needed to do. Must have been a great halftime speech, huh?
Yeah, I think Bob Bogan is pretty happy about the way things have gone so far. This is the first time in quite a while that the Durfee Hilltoppers were even in the game. Actually, 2 years ago, we had a 6-2 New Bedford win here, actually, so I have to take that back. That was in the rain and the mud. But on clear days, Durfee has usually been on the short end of a one-sided score, and this year it has been different, at least to this point. Durfee's still trailing, of course, but it's only 1 point, 13-12.
Pretty much an even game here today. I mean, I can really say it's an even game for both teams. No one really dominating. Defense, both lines are playing well. Nobody really coming off the ball. You know, not so much that well, but nobody really dominating the line of scrimmage on any given play.
Jerry Lowney getting set to kick off to start the second half here at Mac Aldrich Field. Back deep for the New Bedford Whalers. Nathan Montero and Sharik Mendes, but it's going to be TJ Goodine. Goodine scoops the ball up and barrels to about his own 43-yard line. That's not exactly where Durfee wanted to kick the ball. One of the up men picked it up, and New Bedford will start the second half with pretty darn good field position.
Can't win a ball game, Paul, unless you set your team up in good field position as much as you can. And both teams have a decent field position, but there's been a couple of key turnovers, a couple of big plays. Scoring has been pretty fast. It's been scarce, but it's been fast.
The New Bedford Whalers like to throw the football. They have a quarterback that can do just that. Corey Medeiros, number 14. J.J. Goodine is the fullback and the halfback, and with the ball right now is Nathan Montero. Nathan Montero accelerated pretty well before he got to the line of scrimmage and leaped across for a gain of 4 for the New Bedford Whalers.
New Bedford starting off like they started off in the first half. They're running the ball, and today, old-fashioned football on every end of the stick. The crowd, the cold, the play of both teams, the defenses.
We've got it all.
Got it all.
Wide to the right, Correa. Wide to the left is Goodine. Little pitch out to TJ Goodine this time. Goodine is hit right away by 45. That's Rick Palumbo, the guy that ran the ball back. So he's contributing on both sides of the football. Pretty good hit there. New Bedford still gains about 5. It's a 3rd and 2.
And just a beautiful open field tackle by Palumbo right there. Goodine has about 6-7 yards of open field in front of him, and he just closes in on him. And hey, if you grab somebody's legs like that, there's nowhere they can go. My pal number 42 does that.
Chris Gula. On the offensive line, Matt McKay, the center, the guard, Steve Esteves, and Rich Ribeiro tackles Daryl Oliveira, Fred Bradley, and Brian Cardozo switching off. Nathan Montero gets the pitch. He will cross the first down marker and will be tackled at about the 45-yard line of the Durfee Hilltoppers. So the New Bedford Whalers decide to run on this particular series of downs, and in 3 plays, they have a first.
Looking at the Durfee team real quickly, before their last 3 games, they won once in 28 tries. They were on a 20-game winless streak before the 12-12 tie to stay. Or rather, before the first one of the season, actually.
Very tough stretch for Durfee, and that, of course, includes the Thanksgiving matchup. Trying to make it different here. Corey fires, trying to catch up there with TJ Goodine, who was just going straight ahead. A couple of guys there for the Durfee Hilltoppers were waving. I think Kyle Swist was looking for the ball, and so was number 4, Kevin Costa, on the coverage.
What I love so much about high school football is that a lot of these guys excel in one given area, but they have to play well in almost all the areas. I mean, you got a running back who's running for over 1,000 yards and has had 6 touchdowns. And as we see the replay right there, Medeiros looks back, fires to his left, and only Durfee defenders in his face, and having an opportunity to catch that one. So not a great play. Looks like he threw that one away.
2nd down and 10, New Bedford at the enemy 45. Corey goes deep. Has Correa, but he overthrows them at the Durfee Hilltopper 15-yard line. Correa on a fly pattern, and they had end zone on their minds.
Well, the problem right there was that the Durfee defense was right in on Medeiros' face. He had to get rid of the ball a little bit early, a little bit sooner than he wanted to. He overthrew Carrera by about 15-20 yards and was on the ground looking at that play as it was incomplete. So that was a great defensive play. That's what kept that from perhaps being or becoming a big play.
There you saw it right there. Correa unable to catch up with the pass. So New Bedford, they ran 3 times to get the first down, and here they've thrown 2 incompletes. It's 3rd down and 10. Corey would play action to Nathan Montero. He's got time to throw. Fires it up there. Had Correa wide open at the 25-yard line. Correa was right in the middle of the coverage, nobody around, and he just could not connect up with Jeff.
That's just a really tough play. Only very, very good quarterbacks, and there's even some of the better ones can't do it when you're running to your left and throwing to your right. You'll see the play right there. Medeiros running to his left, having the throw in the middle of the field, or actually, well, it was my middle.
Where are we?
Where are we?
We're at the 45.
We're at the 45, and we're in a punt situation right now.
So ironically, New Bedford did better that time on the ground than they did in the air, as Jeff Correa just barely gets it by Costa, who was in his face looking for the block. And now the Durfee Hilltoppers fall on the ball at about the 6-yard line, and he wanted to pick that ball up and take it, but that turned out to be a mistake. That was Nawaki.
Well,
he almost lost that ball completely.
Exactly. situation in the first quarter on the first punt by Durfee, fumble recovery at the 23-yard line somewhere about in the first, which inevitably turned into 6 points. Looked like could have seen almost a similar situation right there on the other side of the football, however.
Paul Santos and Donna Fendrick wishing you a happy Thanksgiving from Mac Aldrich Field.
How do you say my last name, Paul?
Fendrick.
There you go. Just want to make sure.
How do you say mine?
I don't know.
You never heard of that one before, huh? First down and 10. Inside handoff, that's Jay Cummings. Cummings stays on his feet longer than you would have predicted. Finally, Chris Gomes manages to knock him down, and he gives him a hand as he lifts him back up again.
Cummings looks like a fullback, doesn't he, though? I mean, he looks tough. Getting back to what you had just asked me, I come to this city, and everyone has the same last name. There's 150 Santoses right around the corner. Medeiros, Almeida.
But would you have it any other way?
No, I love it.
Surrounded by Santoses, there's nothing wrong with that.
There they are. Look, Santos.
You like that, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
Second down and 6. After the gain of 4 by Cummings. Again, an inside handoff. They try to break that one. Was that Swiss that time?
Well,
yes, it was.
Paul, no, it actually wasn't. It was Cummings who fumbled the ball and ironically gained 2 yards on the Swiss recovery. You'll see it right here.
Retains possession.
They still managed to
Here
gain some yardage on that, too.
Sunnyson's going to hand off quickly up the middle. Number 42, Gula, has a hand on Cummings. He fumbles right there and gains about 3 yards on the Swiss recovery. So that's how it was designed.
So the Durfee Hilltoppers actually gained some yardage on that, not by design, but they're at a 3rd down and 1. They can keep the drive going here if they can get 1 yard. This time Kyle Swist. Swist will be past the first down marker, still on his feet. He'll be knocked down at about the 23-yard line. A first down for Durfee's Kyle Swist. He's the fullback and a co-captain at 5'11", 175. And there's Skippy.
There is Skippy, and he's going to love watching himself there. He looks good. Doesn't he look sharp?
I like that
He
hat.
never looks that good. Oh, I don't mean it like that. You know what I mean, Skip. You look great. He's got his camel coat there. Looks 100% athletic director of it. This Durfee school.
Basketball on the way. That's what that reminds me of.
The legend.
Ed Roderick's in New Bedford is shaking looking at that, huh? Inside handoff. That's going to be a gain of about 9 yards. This time it is number 45 getting the ball that time. That's the guy that ran the ball back before. Rick Palumbo, 5'7", 160-pound senior.
Palumbo gains about 8 yards, just barrels his way through a line that was all over him. Just power running right there. And Durfee moving the football. They were at their own 6-yard line about 2-3 minutes ago and doing some good running here.
You get the feeling that Durfee might be trying to play a little ball control here, something we thought they'd do in the first half, and actually they threw the ball a little bit. This is the game plan that may win him the ball game. Costa is in motion. 2nd down and 4. This time it's Cummings. Cummings crashes over the right side of his line. It looks like he will be past the first down marker, and it looks like it could be the 2nd successive first down for the Durfee Hilltoppers, but take it down, penalty Durfee.
Well, you know, I'll tell you, there's nothing New Bedford can do right now. Durfee's running backs are just simply overpowering the slight line that New Bedford is showing them. They're on them. There's no holes. It's just power running for 6, 7, 8 yards a carry. And, you know, there's really no defense in a situation like that.
The only defense might be a penalty. And they're 5 yards back, so that's going to set up a 2nd down and about 8. That's the problem with the ball control offense. If you can get a penalty against the offense, it forces them to go away from it and go in the air. But this time they pitch out to Palumbo. Palumbo turns the corner, and he will be knocked down past the first down marker. I believe he will have a first down, answering the penalty back very quickly.
Well, he tried to turn the corner and looked like he might have had a couple of yards in front of him, but at that point there was really not too much room. The running game is doing well for Durfee. They're not a real prolific offense. They're not going to score a lot of points, so you're right. Ball control will do the job for them today.
First down and 10 Durfee. They are at their own 32-yard line. 2 first downs in a row for the Toppers. Kyle Swist. He'll be pulled down from behind by Gula. And 52 with the follow-up tackle for New Bedford, Steve Esteves. Loss of 2.
Cold afternoon here at Durfee High School. Great game, 13-12. New Bedford over Durfee, about 5:07 left in this game, and it's a great day for football. Pittsburgh and Dallas today, huh?
Yeah.
If you're watching on Thanksgiving, you've already, well, actually, it starts at 4, so you could be switching off. Don't do so, but root for
Don't do that.
Steelers.
Don't switch. Dartmouth Fairhaven tonight at 7 if you're watching on Thanksgiving. 2nd down and 11. Sunnison keeps the ball that time. Goes past the original line of scrimmage, gets an additional 3, should set up a 3rd and very long, though, for Durfee.
People are probably wondering right now, Paul, why are they not running? Why are they not passing? Why are they not throwing the ball? Why are they running? Well, in the first half, Sunnison completed 2 passes all first half, 2 interceptions also. Didn't throw the ball poorly, but that is not Bogan and the Durfee offensive game. And certainly wasn't their game plan heading into today.
If he has to throw here, he has Kevin Costa wide to the left and Steve Naraki wide to the right. He sneaks Palumbo to the left. Can't get around the final man. And he is pushed out of bounds. Very minimal gain as the New Bedford Whalers were all over him. 33, one of the stoppers for New Bedford. And that's Joe Vieira. Is that 33? 34. Whoever it was, he did a great job. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, it was Oliveira, Daryl Oliveira, 62.
No room at all on the outside. Couldn't get away from the defender, and in retrospect gains 3 yards.
Not enough. The Durfee Hilltopper drive is stopped. It started at the 6. It ends at the 35. They did have 2 first downs. Costa with a fake. Costa turns the corner. Costa! First down, Durfee. Tremendous call by Bobby Bogan. And Kevin Costa gains the necessary yardage. The drive is still alive. The 3rd first down in a row for the Toppers.
Well, you talked to Bogan this week. You also talked to Joe Worth, and you knew there was going to be some surprise plays, some trick plays in the playbook for both teams. We haven't seen anything really on the verge of that for New Bedford, but Durfee's done it a couple of times early in the game. There was a pitch out, and one of the running backs threw about 30-40 yards downfield to a wide open man. He dropped the pass, but would have been a great big play if it occurred. A couple of trick plays, and they're executing them pretty well.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line of the Durfee Hilltoppers. Kyle Swist powers up the middle, following up his offensive line. It's only going to be a gain of about 3 yards. On the offensive line, Justin Carrera, the center. Guerrero, that is. Right guard is Paul Salcina, one of the co-captains. The left guard is John Medeiros. Chris Cabral is there, along with David Almeida. John Phoenix, 65, also on the line. And these are the guys that are really going to have to push off the ball here to keep this running game going.
Palumbo, Costa, even Borges, those are the guys for Durfee who do the little things but make the big play. You don't expect it from them, they make it happen.
2nd down and 9. Great play by 40 of New Bedford, the defensive tackle Chad Cruz. What penetration, and he beats Sunnison a couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage.
And you know that Sunnison wanted to pitch out on an option play to 49 Jay Cummings. He didn't even have any chance to, and it looked like right as he was tackled, he was about to do it. And it would have been disastrous if in fact he did, but the high school seemed to like the option play. They run it a lot, and from what I've seen this year, unless you really have it down pat, it's a real dangerous play.
So it's 3rd down and 10. An obvious passing situation for Peter Sunnison. Wide to the right is Naraki. Swist and Cummings in the backfield. They pitch it out to Costa the other way. Costa passes the line of scrimmage. It'll only be a gain of about 3 yards. Not a bad little play there, as they had all these wideouts to the left. It looked like he was going that way, and they tried to spring Costa to the other side, but once again, that New Bedford Whaler quickness, they are there. It's 4th down and about 6. The ball is at the enemy 49.
And Paul, we see that the reverse right there. He pitches out to Sunnison, and he can't seem to get around the defender, and he's run out of bounds. At about the 40-yard line, or so rather the 50-yard line. What do you do here?
I was thinking maybe you might want to go for it, but then I realized it was a 4th down and 7.
And
so
also,
I think you got to punt.
Also, too, it's you're in a situation where a couple of trick plays work, but New Bedford is probably expecting and waiting.
Flags on the play. Borges with the kick. Bounces down, will go into the end zone. It will come out to the 20-yard line, depending on what happened with the flag here.
Well, the great kick by Borges, a 50-yard punt for him. It was, I guess it's, I can't really tell which way, if the wind is at their back right now. The wind's everywhere.
It's at our back.
So I don't know really, it's a swirling wind. That's just told me it was a swirling wind. I like that. It's swirling around my head.
Ordinarily, the wind at your back is supposed to be a good thing,
Absolutely.
But I'm not sure I agree with that right now.
I've just developed bigger hair today. I think it's going to be hard to comb this.
Penalty against Durfee. Procedure declined by New Bedford. New Bedford takes over 1st and 10 at the 20. 1:29 to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Durfee Hilltoppers had a pretty decent drive. It started at the 6. It ended at midfield. They had 3 first downs, including a fake punt, which kept the drive alive for only one more series, though. And they had to punt the ball away. New Bedford now leading 13-12, 1:29 to go. This is going to be a key here if New Bedford can do something quickly here.
Well, this 3rd quarter has been strictly defense. Couple of tricky plays, but unfortunately here for Durfee they have to punt.
Corey Medeiros inside to Jojo Godine. And that's a play that worked well even against the big bad Brockton Boxers, so why not try it here? That's a gain of 6 right up the middle.
And if Kevin Costa doesn't tackle him at about the 25-yard line, it could mean J.J. Godine is gone.
We always comment on J.J.'s running up the middle, how maybe defenses are thinking that Corey's going to roll out, which is what he does so well, but pretty good blocking by Matt McKay, Steve Esteves, and Rich Ribeiro, the 3 guys in the middle. It really helped Godine spring that play. 2nd down, almost a fumble. Sharik Mendes gets the ball. He's going to be pulled down quickly by Jay Cummings, the co-captain. 5'10", 190 pounds. Good night, Sharik.
Sharik loses about a yard there. It's going to be a 3rd down and about 6. So good defense right there. Medeiros likes to roll out. He's comfortable, a lot more comfortable rolling to his right than he is to his left. He likes to spread out the defense, and he likes to throw in the middle where it's got to be pretty much his own coverage if it's man-to-man on the receivers. And there's always a tight end sort of open somewhere in the middle of the field, 5-10 yards downfield. That's what he's done well even today, but not nearly enough. Certainly Worth doesn't think so. The score doesn't...
Flags down right away. Quick pass out to Sharik Mendes. No, that's going to be a fumble because it's a sideways pass. The Durfee Hilltoppers have the ball. That was a lateral.
That is the key play that Durfee needed. A good key defensive play that just was essential. Reason for that? Simple. He was behind the line of scrimmage.
That was a penalty against the New Bedford Whalers, obviously declined by Durfee. And Durfee will take over 1st and 10 right there, deep in enemy territory. The ball will be spotted at about the 17.
You have some fans here, some alumni, some people who have followed these teams for the last couple of years, who have kids. I mean, as we see the replay right there, that's a lateral. Therefore, that's a fumble. That is not a forward pass. That's as good, or if not the same, as a handoff.
And we got that one right.
As I was saying, very diligent fans, a lot of camaraderie, diligence in the stands here for Durfee.
Sunnison gives it to Swist. Swist barrels over the left side of that line, eventually stopped by 43 Chris Gomes. But this time Durfee running to the left with some pretty good success. Kyle Swist, a guy that really can kill you, a gain of 7.
I'll tell you something, I'm from an area that high school football on Thanksgiving Day, there's about 3 people who go. Those 3 people are the fathers of 3 of the players. It's outrageous to me. Alumni, people come out, you watch the fans, they're going crazy. It's a full house here today, and just look at it. Look at the people, look at the
Toppers feel it.
And I feel it. You know, you can feel it just sitting here and freezing in the interim. It's
The third quarter is over. We'll have fourth quarter action coming up from Mac Aldrich Field in a moment. New Bedford hanging on to a 13-12 lead over Durfee, but Durfee on the doorstep. Back in a moment. Fourth quarter action about to begin here at Mac Aldrich Field. Durfee has the ball. Second down and 10. And 3 to go, rather, for a first down. Cummings. Looks like he will have the first down at the Durfee Hilltopper 5-yard line. It'll be first and goal Toppers.
Comings with the first down and more, and Durfee with the momentum right now. They had the momentum heading into the second half. They've just run the ball after running the ball, and they've been successful. This half, they have given or turned the ball over, or rather punted the ball once to New Bedford. And let me tell you something, if you can keep the ball for approximately, about 9 minutes of a quarter, you're going to win the ball game.
First and goal at the 5 for Peter Sunnison. Inside handoff. Everybody piling up on the inside, and the New Bedford Whalers will hold it for now. That's a gain of about 1 at the most.
Well, New Bedford certainly right here doesn't want to see or to allow Durfee to get into the end zone. They want to keep it at 3. I wonder, in fact, if Bogan would go for the 3 if it's perhaps third and short. Probably not. He looks like he's done some things today, and he hasn't, by all means, been conservative with his calling.
They mark it as a 2-yard gain, second and goal at the 3. Kyle Swist turns the corner. He's headed for the end zone. Touchdown! Kyle Swist, and Durfee has the lead.
Well, a situation like that, Paul Swist just went to his right. He turned the corner. He had a little bit of room, and he just dove in for the touchdown. Not by much. 6 points on the board. The fans going crazy. The confetti flying around. And right now, it is Durfee for the first time this afternoon ahead, 18-13. Extra point or perhaps 2-point conversion pending. And Swiss didn't only barrel his way in, but he stood his way in. He never barreled. I mean, he barreled, but he didn't dive. He was standing up as he reached the end zone. And that sometimes when the people are standing up, you just can't see it.
Needless to say, very important conversion here, as the difference is only 5 points right now. Sunnison, flags all over the place. The play is going to be stopped. We'll have to see if it goes against the New Bedford Whalers to give Durfee another shot.
Well, Paul, the flags were thrown as the play was about to begin, so it's either going to be some kind of illegal procedure or an offside of some sort.
It's against Durfee, so it'll be declined. It's an illegal motion call. The 2-point conversion attempt will be stalled there. 9:52 to go here in the fourth quarter. Durfee is ahead, though. Even though it's only by 5, they still have the lead.
Paul, you haven't done well on your 2-point conversions all day. Swist having a decent, actually he hasn't run for a lot of yardage today, but he's done the things he's had to do. Do you think in a situation like that they should have gone for the extra point? Or do you think with the momentum on their side, perhaps they did the right thing?
I don't know. They haven't done too well, as you said, on the 2-point conversion. I think it all comes down to whether or not you have a kicker and whether or not you have confidence in that kicker. They haven't kicked, I don't think, much all year, and that's probably why they're stuck going for the 2, whether they want to or not. As we take a look at the Durfee Hilltopper cheerleaders, they are leading the cheers, but the people on the Durfee Hilltopper side, they are enjoying it with the cheerleaders.
And I don't think anyone on the sidelines, Paul, and anybody who's cheerleading is even a bit cold today. They're all warmed up.
Jerry Lowney with the kick. It's a bouncing ball. And it's picked up by number 11 of the New Bedford Whalers. There's a guy who plays on special teams. And unfortunately, he's not on the roster, but he fell on the ball, and New Bedford has pretty decent field position. They will take over first down and 10 at about the 43-yard line.
And Paul, New Bedford has plenty of time with 9:50 remaining in the ball game to score right here.
And all they need is a touchdown. 6 will give them the lead. Corey Medeiros is the quarterback. J.J. Gradine is the fullback. Nathan Montero, the halfback. He's going deep as Correa. Correa makes a great catch at the 23. Correa had to come back to catch that ball because Costa was on the coverage. But he comes back and he makes a tremendous catch.
Paul, we're going to see that again, an outside-in route. The ball was thrown inside as Correa was outside. You're going to see right there, again, Medeiros goes out. He rolls to his left this time, or actually stands in the pocket. He throws it up, he lofts it up, and inside goes right there Correa. He was on the sideline and had beaten his defender by about 7-8 yards. Beautiful pass play, beautifully executed. Right now, there's a first down at the 30-yard line.
36-yard pass by Corey Medeiros, and it's Nathan Montero going the other way. Montero crosses the 20. He'll be knocked down at about the 15-yard line. On the stop, Eric Silva for the Durfee Hilltoppers, but a pretty decent gain by New Bedford that time, a gain of 7.
Well, I think it is also safe to say that although right now the Durfee Hilltoppers are above or beating right now New Bedford 18-13, offensively really not too much of a comparison. A lot more that New Bedford has to offer than Durfee as far as offensive strategy. Durfee doing the things they need to do, defense doing well, but between Medeiros and Correa and all the guys offensively, a bit superior.
New Bedford also capable of big chunks of yardage as opposed to Durfee, who seem to go slow at a time. A sack! Great penetration by Chris Cabral, the right defensive tackle. And Medeiros is sacked 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Heading into the game on paper, doesn't matter who is superior, who is got the statistics. If you make the big plays when you need them, you're going to win the game. And today, Durfee has made a handful of them.
This will set up a third down and about 8 now for the New Bedford Whalers at the Durfee Hilltopper 21-yard line. Jeff Correa goes wide to the right. Marcel Gonçalves wide to the left. Corey Medeiros is your quarterback. Play action to Godin. Lofts it to Nathan Montero. Montero has some room. Montero is in for a touchdown.
Paul, there's a flag on the play right around the 5-yard line. It looks like it could be a clip, and it is on New Bedford. Looks like Durfee's excited about this, and I don't know what happened. It happened right around the 5-yard line where Godin was.
A touchdown will be taken down naturally, and this will pin New Bedford even farther back.
Rather, that wasn't Godin, I'm sorry, that was Montero. We're going to have to see that play again. It happened right around the 5-yard line or so. Costa for Durfee was right around the play. I just can't seem to see what happened.
It's a 5-yard penalty. It'll set up a third down and about 13 now for the New Bedford Whalers.
There we go, Montero goes back.
Right after the catch, I think.
Throws to Montero right there. There's Montero, and it was right there on number 28 of New Bedford. It was on number 28 of New Bedford, John Casey. It was a very good call right there. If you saw it, it was a good call, don't you think?
Well, the ball was spotted 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's really a 15-yard penalty from where the infraction occurred. So that's why the ball is spotted at about the Durfee Hilltopper 26-yard line.
That touchdown nullified. Durfee would have gone ahead right there by 5, or rather by 6.
So
could very well be the key to this game today, something we'll look back on and be able to talk about.
The officials have certainly been involved in the game. A couple of face mask penalties in the first half. It was unintentional on New Bedford, intentional on Durfee. Stalled a drive early on. Bob Bogan unhappy. I'm sure he likes that call there as it takes down a New Bedford touchdown and puts them in a very difficult spot at third down and 13 there on the Durfee 26. If they can stop the New Bedford Whalers here, the New Bedford Whalers, of course, will be going for it on fourth down. Durfee would have an opportunity to move the ball and kill the clock. Jeff Correa in motion. Corey inside to Nathan Montero, a tremendous call. He's down to the 15. Finally knocked down at the 10-yard line. Everyone on the field thinking pass, and they snuck Nathan over the right side of the line. Very hard to predict Joe Wirth.
Well, it's true. I mean, he comes on with a tremendous screen-type play. Now he's going to run the ball right on the right side. Great big opening. Offensive line making that happen. Offensive line for both teams doing the job today. They're going to win it or lose it for you. It depends on who dominates. And there was nobody even around 5 yards around Montero right there.
1st and 10, New Bedford at the Durfee 11. Same play, Nathan Montero. This time the Durfee Hilltopper defense reads it well. 42 on the stop. Mark Megna.
I'll tell you, it's amazing how sometimes this New Bedford offensive line can just create the gapping hole. The play previous to this, Montero didn't have a guy within 5-6 yards of him to even touch him. You could run for a 1st down.
It'd be a limp, but I'd probably get there.
Between your hoop shooting and your running through the gapping hole, Paul, you're a star in our book.
Thank you.
Welcome.
2nd down and 9. Flags down. Corey throws to the end zone. And it is dropped by Marcel Gonsalves, incomplete in the corner of the end zone.
Well, as you said, flags are down on the play. When Medeiros stepped in for Matt Trahan, who had success for New Bedford at the helm, quarterbacking previous to this year, nobody knew what to expect as far as Medeiros was concerned. This guy has a lot of talent. He can throw it. He can stand in the pocket. He can roll to his right. He can roll to his left. He can throw across field. I mean, the guy can do a little bit of everything. He's got a great. He likes the option play. He can, pretty much hide the ball well. He's good on the fake. And as New Bedford calls a timeout there, we continue to talk about Medeiros. I was just going to say that Trahan never lost his job. Medeiros kept his.
Now right there you saw a penalty against the Durfee Hilltoppers offside. It'll stay as a 2nd down. The ball will be moved 5 yards in the direction of the Durfee Hilltoppers, and it'll be a 2nd down and 4 to go at the 5-yard line. New Bedford does have a little bit of room to get the 1st down at about the 1-foot line. So that could be big. I mean, sometimes you get the ball down there at about the 1-yard line, and if you can get it to the 1-foot line, then you'd have 4 chances to go in from there. So that is very important as New Bedford tries to take the lead here, trailing 18-13, 6:36 to go. What a ball game.
I'll tell you, the only thing that'll do for Durfee, Paul, is that it'll eat time off the clock. I think right here with the way New Bedford, unless there's a fumble or a turnover, the way that they've been driving in this possession, doesn't look like Durfee's going to be able to keep him out of the end zone. And if that's what Durfee is thinking, a 1st down would be just devastating for them.
The New Bedford Whalers looking, as we said, at a 2nd down and 4 at about the 4.5. New Bedford is going to be very difficult to stop here, but if they do stop them here, Durfee's offense will be called upon to eat the clock, and New Bedford may never see the ball again if Durfee is successful on offense. So here we go.
Well, you said it. This game was going to go down to the wire, and see if Durfee's 2-minute drill works for him.
Carrere in motion. Fake handoff. The pass to the end zone. Touchdown! TJ Goodine at New Bedford takes the lead.
Paul, that was Corey Medeiros' 7th touchdown in this season so far. 1st touchdown of the afternoon for the young man, and it's his 5th touchdown in his last 5 games. 6 touchdowns in his last 5 games. Has had at least 1 over the last 5, and there's the replay. He just rolls to his right a little bit, and he puts it right in the numbers as Goodine is in the right corner of the end zone.
3rd touchdown reception of the year for TJ Goodine. And the New Bedford Whalers are going for the 2-point conversion. Medeiros throws and cannot connect up with TJ Goodine this time. And it sets up a very interesting situation. The New Bedford Whalers are leading the Durfee Hilltoppers by 1, 19-18. That's the reason why New Bedford wanted to go for 2, so that they could set up a field goal to tie situation. It fails, and now with 6:31 left, Durfee is going to have to deliver.
Mark Megna, number 42 on Durfee's defense, all over Medeiros, threw it a little bit early, and Goodine couldn't really reach that one, threw it a little bit to his right. That was the key to the play. Good defensive surge will normally rush a quarterback and give the defense the edge right there, as Megna did right there. So as Paul says, 19-18, 6:31 to go, plenty of time for Durfee. And right now, if Durfee runs the ball, and as you say, if they score here, no time will be remaining for New Bedford. So they can pretty much do what they want to do, and they can utilize their own game plan that has successfully kept them within this ball game.
They're going to have to execute, though, no mistakes. A big penalty or a turnover or anything of that nature will pretty much kill it. There's 6:31 to go. New Bedford 19, Durfee 18. Steve Esteves will be kicking the ball off this time. I think that's 62. That's Daryl Oliveira. Kevin Costa can't make the catch. Has to go back to pick it up at the 9. Costa ad-libbing. He's going to be knocked down at about his own 15-yard line. They're pinned deep.
The sports jargon book. Paul Santos wrote it as Costa ad-libbed right there.
I wrote the book.
He wrote the book. Costa just, I tell
the play-by-play handbook.
You gotta have fun.
And you
with
read
it.
it.
You know? I
read it.
I read it. I read it every day.
How about the color commentary book? Did you read that one?
How do I take that?
There is now. That's the.
I tell you, I make up some of my own too. You're absolutely right. Hey, you know, you have to. Let people imitate you, I imitate them.
That's right. First down and 10, Durfee at their own 15-yard line. Bad field position here. Inside it goes, that's Palumbo. The ball is loose, and the New Bedford Whalers have fallen on the football.
Paul, it's happened all day long to Durfee. The turnover
Steve
on their
Gilmore.
side. All day long they have capitalized on the key turnover, on the key fumble, on the key interception. Right there, it just went the other way. And as this game has been progressing throughout the afternoon, it seemed like that is what would happen.
4 turnovers now for the Durfee Hilltoppers compared with 3 for New Bedford. And that has told a story here in this Thanksgiving matchup.
Well, the third quarter was all Durfee. They just dominated the football. They ate the time off the clock, and it was complete ball control. Fourth quarter belongs to New Bedford.
First and 10, New Bedford at the Durfee Hilltopper 15. This time they'll keep it on the ground. That's JoJo Godine. You know New Bedford's going to run in this particular situation, as they will try to eat the clock here.
Well, New Bedford has had success all day long running the ball. They've had success passing the ball. They haven't had to pass all that much, but when they have passed, they've gotten the big play. Key play that we can remember so far today between Medeiros and 86 Godine was that 36-yard pass play that set up that touchdown right about 2-3 minutes ago, right before they just got possession here. So a couple of key plays we can remember. What
a catch by Jeff Correa in that situation too, coming back a couple of yards and taking it away from the defenders. Nathan Montero. Montero down to the Durfee Hilltopper 5-yard line, and that'll be a New Bedford Whaler first down.
Whalers love to run up the middle with their little backs. They do it well. They do it successfully. They scoot, they holler, they do all those things, and they succeed. Little by little, as we see the replay there, right up the middle, just breaks a couple of tackles, and he's in for the first down. Little by little, they rack up the numbers, they rack up the stats, and they do the things that next year, on paper, will make this New Bedford team one heck of a team.
2 scores so far in the second half. It was 13-12 New Bedford when we went into the halftime locker room. Well, Donna and I didn't go into the halftime locker room.
I did.
Yeah, by mistake, I heard about that. You don't want to publicize that too much. A 3-yard run by Swist. And that gave the Durfee Hilltoppers the lead at 18-13, and then a 4-yard touchdown pass by Corey Medeiros to TJ Godine gave the New Bedford Whalers the lead they have right now at 19-18. And as Donna pointed out, it wasn't only the pass by Medeiros to Godine, the 4-yarder, it was the one before that, the 36-yard connection from Corey Medeiros to Jeff Correa that set up the winning score as it stands now.
And Paul, I was mistaken. The 36-yard pass, I said it was Godine. You're right, it was Correa. Godine with a touchdown pass of 4 yards from Medeiros. He has just a plethora, which is one of my favorite words, a plethora of options, who to pass to, who to hand off to.
A what?
Plethora.
I'm going to look that up.
That's our program director's favorite word.
I went to school for 8 years after high school, and I don't know what that is.
It means a whole bunch.
Oh,
it just means a whole bunch.
Pitch back to Montero. The play is called and stopped. There's a motion on the line, I believe.
So that's going to be nullified, the whole play. It's superfluous, though, Paul.
Procedure penalty against New Bedford pushes him back 5 yards, and that helps the goal line stand that the Durfee Hilltoppers will need here.
5-yard penalty, still a first down, first and goal from the 10.
Sixth penalty of the game against the New Bedford Whalers, accounting for 40 yards.
And the penalties today have been offsides, illegal motion, just little things that have hurt both teams. A couple of face masks unintentionally for about 5 yards. One intentional for 15.
So it's first and goal at the 10. Quick pitch to Jojo Gunai. Follows his blockers, dives in, and it's a touchdown. Jojo Gunai. And that could put it away for New Bedford.
Durfee needed to stop New Bedford right there. They had to stop them. Any life left for the offense, for the Durfee offense to make something happen, they had to try to keep this thing within a touchdown. They couldn't do it. These big plays occurring today, big runbacks, big kick returns, a couple of big pass plays, things such as that, turnovers. Who knows what's going to happen? A lot of time left.
Going for the 2-point conversion to make it 9. Medeiros throws. And they've got the 2-point conversion. And that was very, very important.
Well, what that means now is New Bedford needs the ball back twice with 5:19 to go. A running team that they are, Durfee is, that's what I mean. Getting the ball back twice with 5:19 to go. Probably this thing is done.
Marcel Gonçalves was the receiver of that pass. And had Durfee been able to stop New Bedford in that situation, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion would have given Durfee the win. But now 9 points. You're right, they now need the ball 2 times. Well, that's why they went for 2. That's why they didn't kick it.
Well, I mean, that was good. It was great strategy on Joe Worth, for Joe Worth. Also, too, Durfee hasn't once tried for the extra point, so if, in fact, they scored with not a lot of time remaining, they'd have to go for the extra point to tie it. They'd have no choice. They haven't had any success in the 2-point conversion, so they would, even if with a touchdown, be in a situation where they'd have to make a decision. That was a great play that succeeded, and it pretty much put the game out of reach for the Durfee Hilltoppers.
Of course, Durfee probably would have gone for the 2-point conversion in that situation anyway to go for the win. That would have been open to them as well. Daryl Oliveira will be kicking off from his own 40-yard line. 5:19 to go here in the 4th quarter. 2 New Bedford scorers have made it really tough for Durfee. The ball will bounce at the 20. It'll be picked up by Costa. They really needed Costa to break it. He almost did. He pulled past 2 white shirts. Gets the ball all the way to about the 30-yard line where the Durfee Hilltoppers will take over 1st and 10.
Last year, 42-0 New Bedford. Game was over before it started. This year, Durfee, a different ball club. In 1 year, what Bogan did to these Hilltoppers, as far as I'm concerned, one heck of a successful year. Win or lose today, 27-18 the score. A close game, a good game. He pulled this team together. He made a team out of a team that really had done nothing over the past couple of years, and they have nothing to be ashamed of this afternoon.
First down and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Kevin Costa goes wide to the right. Quick inside handoff. That's going to be J.J. Cummings. Cummings carries past the 30 down to about the 34-yard line, where he's eventually stopped by Chad Cruz for number 40 of the New Bedford Whalers. Brings up a 2nd down, and I think Durfee ought to drop back and send somebody deep here.
Well, I was going to say that, Paul. Can you run the ball, perhaps right now, get the 5, 6, 7 yards on a first down carry, and have enough time to get it back? You don't.
You're certainly looking at the following scenario for the Durfee Hilltoppers. They have to score a touchdown in the next 5:03, and then they'd have to recover an onside kick and take another shot at the end zone. Certainly a tough situation to be in, but not impossible.
Well, certainly not. We've seen some big plays today with consuming pretty much no time. So.
2nd down and 6. Sunnison pitches to Costa on the reverse. The New Bedford Whalers are waiting for him. Daryl Oliveira was standing there waiting for Costa to run, and he knocks him down for a loss of 3.
Well, New Bedford at worst has said to themselves, we got beat a couple of times on a couple of trick surprise plays, and we're not going to let that happen. Also, the momentum now is on their side. This is a game of momentum and a game of mind intensity, and right now New Bedford is on the high end of that stick, and the things that worked for Durfee early in the game are not working for him now.
The Durfee Hilltoppers facing a 3rd down and about 8 from their own 30-yard line. Kevin Costa in a slot right. Sunnison throws it to Costa. Costa turns the corner. Costa will be near the 1st down marker. He's still going to be shot by about 2.
I don't necessarily like that play. You need 2 scores. You're throwing to the sideline for a gain of about 3 or 4. The one thing that passing does right here also is if you don't complete 1 or 2 or even 3, you're going to stop the clock. He got outside. They stopped the clock at 3:45. You're right, Paul. You got to send one of your receivers deep. You got to send everybody deep. You got to hope. I mean, right now they're only at the 36-yard line. Even a 30 or 40-yard pass play is not enough.
So it's a 4th down and about 3 for the Durfee Hilltoppers. This could be the ball game right here, and will be if the Durfee Hilltoppers can't convert. New Bedford, of course, remembers the Silver Lake game when New Bedford led 25-3 and ended up losing the game 29-25. So I'm sure they're in the back of their minds, they're not getting too comfortable as the Durfee Hilltoppers call timeout. 3:25 to play in the ball game. 27-18 the Whalers. And Bob Bogan with his troops, and he'll have to dig deep into the playbook here. So new center 13, now seen continuous 5:30 to 7:30. That means if you miss Donna at quarter of, you can catch her at quarter past. If you miss her at quarter past, you can catch her at quarter of. And if you miss her at quarter of, you can catch her at quarter past.
I'm confused.
I'll see you tomorrow night at quarter past, quarter of, quarter past, quarter of, and at quarter past.
I understand that.
You follow that?
I follow that. I don't need to see you in person anymore.
Did I mesmerize you?
I'm overwhelmed.
See, that word wasn't as good as yours.
I know.
That's about as good as I can go.
I didn't even claim it as my own. I should have.
You wrote the book on that, didn't you?
I did. Well, no, I wrote the book on telling you it was someone else's word. Just terrible. I should have.
4th down and 3. Kyle Swist is going to be knocked down 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Steve Gilmore, one of the stoppers for the New Bedford Whalers, along with Joe Vieira, 33.
Well, that didn't matter whether it was a fumble or not. New Bedford's jumping up and down. My friend over there, 42, Chris Gould, is jumping up and down. And hey, guys, it was a 4th and 3, and they didn't convert a 1st down. Who cares if he fumbled? It's your ball.
Really easy to second guess what went on there, but I think what head coach Bob Bogan might have been thinking was go back to what you do best. Go back to your strength. Try to move the ball on the ground. If they could have marched down the field by mixing up the plays, maybe they could have gotten into the end zone with, say, 2 minutes left, and then they could have gone for the onside kick. But I think maybe you could bend and say, hey, maybe throwing it up might have been a good idea. As we take a look at the play that's going on right now, up the middle it goes as New Bedford will eat the final 3:10. I'll tell you, we saw one great high school football game here on Thanksgiving. Durfee certainly had New Bedford worried, more worried than they've been in a long time.
Well, Paul, it's amazing, too, because the fans stayed here right up until that 4th and 3 was not converted. They actually stayed here in the freezing cold with the last-minute hope that perhaps Durfee could put something together and make it happen. You got to give the fans credit. There's a lot of diligence, as I said, a lot of fanatics, and it's high school football.
Corey Medeiros bobbing and weaving and avoiding tackles, finally knocked down by Jerry Lowney as he picked him up and tossed him in the air. It'll still be a gain for New Bedford of a couple of yards.
The other thing that Medeiros was trying to avoid is the sideline. not to stop the clock, but to get this thing over with.
First half scoring, Cummings, a 7-yard run for Durfee. JoJo Godin answers back for New Bedford with a kick by Bernardo, 7-6. Corey Medeiros, a 4-yard run, New Bedford 13-6. Kickoff return by Palumbo to make it 13-12 at the half as Corey pitches it out to Nathan Montero. Montero avoids one tackle, cuts it the other way, and finally be knocked down at the 15. Second half, a 3-yard run by Swist made it 18-13 in favor of the Durfee Hilltoppers with 9:52 to go in the game. People were thinking upset. A 4-yard pass by Medeiros to TJ Godin gave New Bedford the lead. And then I believe we saw, what was it, Montero run in at the end there?
Yes.
I didn't write that one down, see?
That was Montero, though.
And it's 27-18, 2:24 to go. Illegal motion on New Bedford will bring that back. So it's 3rd down and 10, 2:24 to play. Now, if New Bedford can be stopped on downs here, let's go way out on a limb.
Okay.
Keep this thing alive. All right. 3rd down and 10. New Bedford runs a couple of plays. They stop them. There's like a minute 30 left, let's say. Durfee then throws an 80-yard bomb and comes to within 1, recovers their own onside kick, and then throws another one in there.
And with about 3 seconds remaining, New Bedford then goes ahead, and Daryl steps back and runs 75 yards without any time elapsing. They still win by 2-3 points. The game is now 62-50.
Erase all that.
Yep.
That was Jeff Correa with a nice reception, by the way, at the 20-yard line. And it's a first down for New Bedford. Make that at about the 16. And there it is. Watch Correa bobble it, but hang on. Nice concentration. Stay tuned for post-game interviews after this game. We'll talk to some of the stars on both sides of the football, and there were many. Corey pitches back to Nathan Montero. New Bedford continuing to run down the clock. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage.
New Bedford stacks up right there to stop him, and Montero having a fine game today. Touchdown, actually a couple of touchdowns. Godin with a couple of touchdowns. Just a great day all around. A little bit of everything for everybody. Not one specific star, but everybody contributing on both sides of the ball. We had the Palumbo run back, which everyone was calling Kyle Swist because they obviously assumed it must have been Kyle Swist, and it wasn't. You have Montero, Godin. You have both Godins, TJ and JoJo, each with a touchdown. Medeiros throwing the ball, running the ball. Durfee's defense doing well. Key turnovers everywhere. I mean, if you think about it, this game has had everything. Everything that you can imagine.
Passing, running, defense, offense, turnovers.
Yep. Special team success. I mean, you name it, they've had it.
1:31 to play right now. And it's getting a little chilly here in the last row, is it not?
If you notice, I'm not speaking as much, which you like. I just can't move my mouth.
She can't move her mouth. Wait a minute. Am I hearing that correctly?
My friends out there are saying to themselves, Paul can do a good job himself, which he knows it, but
move
hey.
her mouth. That's a disaster.
But imagine if we couldn't. I mean, we wouldn't be here.
No, I don't believe that.
No? That I couldn't move my mouth?
She can't move your, I don't believe that.
Look at me here. Look at me, I can't move. I can't move at all, Paul. If it wasn't for this gentleman here who's writing for the...
Nathan Montero on the tackle.
Are you just keeping track here? I'm talking to my friend. He left me his gloves. I don't know what happened to my gloves.
Another
I don't
friend.
know what I would do.
So, I just want to say, Fenric is ready for a pretty healthy drive here, right? Are you driving home after this?
I'm driving to New Haven, Connecticut, to a friend's house for Thanksgiving. I'm going to stay there for most of the weekend. I'm excited, but...
is that 3 hours?
It's about 2, actually. It's about 3.5 to 4 to New Jersey. I'm going to New Haven, which is about half of the state of Connecticut.
I don't want to say this, just to make you feel bad, but I'm going to be stuffed sitting in a recliner with a remote control device, and you'll still be on a highway.
Watching the game, of course, and
which one? This one?
Yeah, well, a bunch of them, the Lions. And I had a good question last night. Jim Phillips and I had some fun with that one.
We were saying so long to Jay Correa, the bowler.
Yes, the bowler who's been on many times, and
he'll be on with Chris Schenkel one of these days, right?
He's good, and he's a fine young man too. He's a great guy to talk to.
Okay, 117 now. How old is he? 19?
He's only 19 years old, and he's just a class guy all around.
Third down and 6. Nathan Montero wants one more, and he'll get it. Touchdown. From 6 yards out. And now it's 33-18 New Bedford. The score not indicative of the game that we had here, though.
Well, the last quarter has belonged entirely to New Bedford. That Montero takes the handoff. We'll see the replay coming up in just a minute right here. Medeiros going to go down for the snap. He hands off. Montero hops over one of actually his own guard there, and he's just in right on the side there, just kind of open field to the left side, and a bunch of guys tackle him and say, hey, you scored, buddy, and we're ahead by a few touchdowns. And the extra point coming up right here.
Kevin Bernardo. Kevin Bernardo shanks it to the right.
Extra point attempt.
But it doesn't matter. 33-13, New Bedford leading Durfee, and there's 1:11 to go in the ball game.
Must I say 33-18?
Hilltop is 18.
What did I say?
You said 13. I don't mean to correct you. You want to hear a funny story?
I don't want to jib Durfee any points here.
Here's a funny story. My thing, I believe out there, and I feel that they're my friends. And I have my friends is sports, which people are somewhat aware of, and that's my little thing. Sometimes on the air I mention, depending upon my mood, I'll say my friends here and there. Well, last week I'm on the air and I must have said that my friends, good 6 times. So
why did you do that?
Well, I don't know. It was just a day I had a lot of friends, and so Liz Simmons.
You had to, the way things were going that day. Ooh.
I tell you. Anyway, Liz Simmons comes from behind the camera, which she does a little of everything, as you know. Our focus on the she goes, you said my friends 6 times. I said, well, that's because I have a lot of friends. And she goes, well, today at least 6.
So you tried to streamline
so
that.
I figure you're talking about my friends, as you mentioned in jest a little bit. They're your friends too, which
That's
is
true.
Kind of neat.
Daryl Oliveira kicks it. The Rocky takes it at the 15. The Rocky slides down and falls at about the 35-yard line, where the Durfee Hilltoppers will go on offense for the final time this season.
Third time today that a couple of guys have had trouble with their footing. The field in the middle looks like it's
a little soft.
A little bit rugged there, yeah.
Not as bad as we thought it was going to be with the forecast that we had. Just wanted to point out one more time, coming up the weekend of December 6th, 7, and 8. Operation Christmas in Fall River, the 3-day telethon at in New Bedford, the greater New Bedford area. It's called Toys for Tots. Donna and I will be there, along with Jim Phillips, Monique Bourgeois, Pamela Martin, and the rest of the News Center 13 staff. We'll be trying to raise money for needy children for Christmas to make sure everyone has a toy. Can't think of a better cause. As New Bedford on the sack here, Chad Cruz with an encore presentation. But yeah, it's sad. I mean, it's tough economic times. There are a lot of needy kids out there, and we want you to bring down old toys or money and help out our cause. And I think you'll enjoy watching the basketball shootout.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we talk about the Toys for Tots and just the needy, and there's so much that people need out there. There's so many needy people. What a great time to try to do something, Paul, for the kids during the holidays. The holidays is a time for everybody. Whether you have money, whether you don't, it's a time to just get together and cheer. And I feel terrific that I have a chance this year to contribute to that and perhaps make that one person and those 2 people over there who are kissing.
Oh.
What are they doing, right? Well, those 2 people are needy. They are in need of something, but I'm not sure what it is. But it's a great opportunity to feel like I'm contributing. What am I saying? I
don't know what you're talking about.
I want to contribute to the needy. That's all I want to say. Those 2 people were kissing.
Second down and 15. And New Rocky cannot get the pass off. 59 for New Bedford in there.
Oh boy.
He's making his first appearance. Robert Gendron grabs him around the ankles and knocks him down. 20 seconds to go in the ball game, and that could be the final play.
And Paul Gendron says, Mom and Dad, I didn't play the whole game, but I played the last 15 seconds, and I got a sack.
That's right. And this will go into the record book. And it's important. The guys that back up these starters are very important. And here's the countdown.
And and you hear it on the New Bedford sideline, and it's over.
The New Bedford Whalers beat the Durfee Hilltoppers 33-18 for this Thanksgiving Day. Back in a moment with post-game festivities.
Hilltoppers 18.